you know, maybe I should tweet more about it or something. Avast, you absolute smooth brain, advertise your OnlyFans more. So much content hidden away. Yeah.
Overwatch.
Yeah, what's up, Pasta94? Thank you for the sub. Let's, so this is going to be live on Twitch, too. Correct? It's going to be live on Twitch, is it not? Am I allowed... Here's the question. Here's the question. Am I allowed to show this? Does anyone know? Butters, thank you for the prime. Have I seen Invincible? I have not, Josh, and I do want to see it. Does anyone... Hydrogen as well. Alvin, Flang, Nizoki. I don't know if I'm allowed to show... I am? Sideshow showing it? Well, Sideshow just shows it no matter what, but fuck it. Oh, that's Firefox. Fuck it. If Sideshow's doing it, I'm doing it. I don't give a shit. Galactic Joey, thank you for the 5 gifted. Appreciate that. So, I'm just going to watch it. We're just going to watch it. Zalos, thank you for the prime. What up? Band together. See, Sideshow does a Chad move where, like, Sideshow just streams shit. He doesn't actually, like, ever ask. He just, like, does it. He just does it. And, you know what? I kind of respect that.
Bing bong MTD.
So, they're also streaming on Twitch, so it should be fine. Yeah, I guess it should be fine, right? Toby, thank you for the tier 1. We've got 2 links for you. And also Frost Fire J.
Avast,
we've got 2.
Absolute smooth brain. Advertise your
Oh wow,
YouTube
this is very
more.
behind.
So much content.
Okay, first one.
Away.
Okay. I didn't see this one. I do like this one, actually. This one's really good. I didn't see this. That one's funny. That's actually really good. Last stream? No. Epic Cock. Thank you for the prime. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Twitch stream is behind. Watch YouTube. Watch YouTube? Shall we go to YouTube? Okay. Am I allowed to have the audio as well? Do you think I can use the audio too? What are you guys' thoughts? Yes? No? Find out? You guys hear it? Okay, well here we go. We're going to YouTube, huh? We're going to YouTube. Neiman, thank you for the tier 1. If you VIP me, you can? I don't think so. I don't think that's true. I guess it's on Twitch, right? So I shouldn't have any problems. Also, Jaws. What up, Jaws? How are you today? Oh, I just paused it. Oops. Oopsies. Canaldo, thank you for the prime. Here to see the funeral 2CP? Maybe. Anchor DB, thank you for the prime. Getting rid of ads? Thanks, of course, Bugs. And after this, by the way, after we do this, we're probably gonna finish Doki Doki. I think my voice actors are all gonna be around, so I think we're gonna finish Doki Doki after this. Whisperliner, thank you for the tier 1. Distortion, thank you for the prime. I've had a really busy week and a half, honestly, guys. Even though I made a joke that I wasn't doing shit on Plat Chat, we've had like a ton of Plat Chat stuff to do for Valorant, and we have the Iceland event for Masters coming up, and we're doing that, and I'm gonna be in Austin finally. So I'm actually gonna go down to Austin to kiss Wyatt on the mouth directly with Sideshow and Brennan them. Also, Demonic Wizard, thank you for the tier 1, and Lurdon 1, thank you for the tier 1. So because we got approved from Riot to do that, so I'm going down to do that next week. We have Overwatch League this weekend. I didn't think it was this weekend. I thought it was next week. I've had a lot of interviews, honestly. I've had a lot of interviews, no joke, which is exciting, but it's been like a lot of shit to do. And then, oh yeah, so had to swap my all sorts of add Borpica, bitch. No, I don't think I will. Cap and Evie, thank you for the prime. Fake underscore Neb, Triglyptin. Thank you both for the prime.
Hi, Avast.
Avast back to Boston? No, not back to Boston. Though some of the places actually, some of the places that I might end up going would, you guys might be surprised.
Happy
Can I get my
19
rat points back?
months.
Yeah, you can,
Almost 2
actually.
years. 5 months to go. Love
Jazz
you so
Jackrabbit,
much.
thank you for the
Less than
tier
3.
1. Official Webborn, thank you for the tier 1. I do need to refund the rat points, don't I? Because we did not meet it. I probably put in a ridiculous amount. I think I put a ridiculous amount. I mean, look at it. Like, 9% raise. Yeah, I probably put a little bit too much.
Fuck.
I think. So, I'll probably change this goal and make it a lot more reasonable. That's like actually too crazy. So, how about we, if I delete it, do I refund the points? Delete challenge or refund? Yeah, delete and refund. That's where you're going to Valiant. No. So, I'll remake that challenge. And we'll
Smiling
make it a lot better.
Hope
Thinking
this will be
emoji, thank
epic.
you for the tier 1. Back to Envy? No, I don't think back to Envy. Just to leave and go back? No, I don't think back to Envy. Stimmy just hit, guys. Stimmy just hit. You got your tax refund. Okay, I'm gonna call it I Become the Rat version 2. And we'll make it like rat time. And we'll make it like 30 days and we'll make it 10 million versus 100 million. 10 million? That's probably better, right? Or is that still too much?
My favorite rat.
Because we hit pretty much that much, right? We hit pretty much that much, I believe. So we'll create it. 10 million. Start it. There you go. GBS Mueller, thank you for the prime. Arkaman, thank you for the prime as well. Dovo with the 15 months. Dovo X50, thank you. Okay, I hope we're all ready. Is everyone ready here? Are we all gonna be excited? Obscure reference, thank you for the tier 1. Dyloon _04, thank you for the prime. Oh, let me look at that link for you. What is this? What happened here? Oh, not that. What is this? What's going on? Top 5 videos are locked in. Who are my top 5 videos? Who are they? I don't get it. Am I voting for something? Where's the voting? Huh?
Are we already getting into degen gambling?
What? No, we're not gambling. Scroll down. I'm scrolling.
I mean, look, you can set a side prediction right now which movie is gonna win.
Well, I'm trying to figure out which... Artemis, thank you for the prime. Calling me dumb, not nice, but that's okay. The black thumbnail. This one? Is this gonna DMCA me? Is this the Tekujin one? Oh, it's Tekujin!
They have led up to this.
The teams that
You know, the
actually made
voting
it.
for this was a little bit weird, where so casters helped vote, but it was only one judge, one
This is
video.
so unique.
I was the one
This
that
is
got the
creative.
Tekujin video, and I gave it 100. So
Kiss
That's
a hole.
poggers.
I got locked out.
What's up,
yeah, no,
Jaws?
you either got in early or you got nothing.
Wait, did it start? Oh wait, let me go back. Let me go back. We have to watch. We have to wait. Starting. Here we go. Everyone, are we excited? Are we excited in here to see something?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Overwatch 2
I'm about to
developer
pog.
PvP live stream. I'm your host, Matt Mr. X, and throughout the stream, I'll
That's
be
Matthew
joined by some
Murillo.
awesome content creators and
Yeah, they
developers
invited all
from
these
Overwatch
content
2
creators. Where are you,
about
Avast?
I'm here. What are you talking about?
Excited for the
He's
Vault
right here,
to
creating
ride
content.
on
awesome
Saturday.
maps in
Wait,
action,
what's this
played
stream about?
live. It's going to be an extremely exciting day. As Aaron mentioned during the developer update, everything you see today.
I
is
can't hear the
work
stream
in
for shit?
progress,
Okay.
But
Pee pee
has
poo
to
poo
show for you
ooga
guys
booga
today.
bun.
So let's bring on some of my guests.
How about that?
Throughout the day, I'll be joined by the members of the Overwatch
The one
dev
thing
team.
you really gotta take
It's
it- or
Associate Art Director
take a good
Dion
look at
Rogers,
here is
Lead
how
Hero Designer Jeff
Matt
Goodman,
goes
and
out of
Game
his way to
Director
block out
Aaron
all
Keller.
sunlight.
How you guys feeling today?
So much for having us.
There's a vampire.
Yeah, no, it's going to be exciting. Now, we've learned so much about the PvE aspect of Overwatch.
Turn off
So
TTS?
we've learned
Okay.
some stuff about, PvP,
Fine.
with
I'll
push,
turn off TTS.
role passives.
Where do I go to do that?
Sojourn at BlizzCon Line. What else has gone into the
find
development
it.
process for Overwatch 2's PvP?
You're right. We've talked a lot about the story side of Overwatch 2 and the cooperative
Hi.
PvE experience that we've been working on. But the Overwatch team has also been hard at work on the PvP side of the game. We're making new features, new heroes, new maps, some of which we'll be playing today.
Ooh, new maps today.
And
Anyway,
we've also
Avast,
been looking
congrats
at
on
the
being
way
signed to the
PvP is
Guangzhou
played.
Charge #Herbalife.
It's changed over time on the live game. And we'll talk about a lot of the changes that we want to be making and that we're currently
we
making to PvP. But there's one in particular that I want to highlight right now.
Fixed.
Because it's substantial, and I think it has a big impact on the way the entire team approaches PvP on Overwatch 2. And it's also something that we're all really
Wait, what are they saying
excited
here?
about. Overwatch has always been played
What?
with 2 teams of 6 players.
No way,
No,
man.
no,
No way.
no,
Are they
no,
gonna do this, right?
Players.
Oh,
Consisting of
No
2
way.
People were speculating this
DPS.
for a while.
Yeah, but
One.
like
Oh.
this.
My next question was gonna be like, okay, like is roll queue still a thing? So we still have
This
we still have a
changes
breakdown.
fucking
It's
everything
not
if
gonna
it
be
does.
so
Tank
one
shaking
tank,
in their
2
boots.
DPS, 2 supports.
They really went-
What
they really went
led
COD,
you
huh?
guys down
They
the
really-
road to make this change?
There are a lot of reasons for why we wanted to make this change.
Also, can I
As I
just
said
point out,
earlier,
why is Aaron using
Overwatch
a
has
$20
changed
gamer headset?
over time.
It's not $20.
We've-
That's an Arctis Pro.
We've gone from
What?
having
Like,
no
yeah,
hero limits
that's a
at all
wireless-
in the game
that's like
before launch. You could pick
$300,
6
$400
Winstons
wireless
if you wanted
headset.
to for your team
It sounds
composition.
$20.
To having a hero limit, we ended up introducing a roll lock over the course of the game, and we feel like this is the next step in the way that Overwatch ought to be played. If you think about it, there is a lot going on in an Overwatch map. It is incredibly fast-paced, and we have always tried to make our combat easy to read and very understandable. And even with all of the work that we put into that, sometimes it's just hard to track what 11 other players are doing on the battlefield. Removing 2 of those simplifies
So they're
everything.
saying this
It
is
allows players
just
to
simplifying
understand
by
everything
removing
that's
players
happening
versus
around
just
them,
that's really
and
just
be able to
removing
make better
tanks
choices
because people don't want to play
because of it.
tanks.
So are they
This
removing
change
roll
obviously has
lock?
a really
I don't know.
big
No.
impact on tanks.
They really just said
and
you
we
guys
will
are
get
too
into some
stupid
of the
to play with
changes that
6
we're
people,
making
so.
to tanks and to some of the other roles in a bit. But tanks can be
you're talking about
problematic.
tanks.
Tanks can be problematic.
A DPS
Okay, so
hero
they're
is
at least
simple.
acknowledging
They're
that tank
shooting.
that they are wanting to remove
but,
tanks
but
for a
tank
reason.
has abilities that can be noisy, or when stacked with
Whoa,
other
look at the
tanks,
HUD.
can cause
look
problems
nice.
for other teams to try
So
to try
basically
to overcome
they're
and
admitting
counter.
that
Like,
they
and a
don't-
great example of that
they're not
is 2
confident in
main
balancing
tanks on
around
the
2
field.
tanks?
Sometimes
Yes.
that can be very
So
oppressive.
my
Well,
question
I
then,
don't
how do they
think it's just
rebalance
that, though.
it?
Like,
I think
it's also
with
the part
five
that
with
clearly
5 players
people
out
don't
there,
wanna play tanks
there is a
on
greater
top of it.
chance
And I don't
of
think any
of
change
Right,
would
but
make
I
being
mean,
able to
carry.
you can make
whether that's
tanks more
the
fun
tank on
to
the team
play.
or some of the DPS,
I-
there's just one less
Okay.
player on the other team that you need
Well,
to take
apparently
care
people are
of,
complaining that
and
there's
each
people
player now
talking,
has
so we
the
have to mute for a
opportunity
bit.
to have a larger
I wonder how they're
individual
gonna
impact
rebalance
on their own
this.
team. And we've tried a lot of different versions of this. Internally,
How are they
we've
possibly
tried,
going to rebalance this to make it
4v4
good?
format. We've tried 3 DPS, 2 support, 1 tank format. We even early on in Overwatch development, we tried a 7v7 format of the game. And we always had some problems with them. And this is the sort of thing that our lead hero designer, Jeff Goodman, has really run with. And I think he probably has a little more he can say about it.
Yeah, you forgot about the 4 DPS, 1 tank, 1 healer we ran one time. That was,
I honestly don't see a universe how you ever make solo Zarya work, right? How do you ever make solo Zarya
Never
work?
to be spoken about again.
Yo, how do
I
you
assume that,
ever make solo
obviously,
Zarya work?
changes to the tank.
Like in
also,
Overwatch
I assume
2.
there will be kind of like
I mean, they didn't.
holistic
I mean,
changes
I assume they're
overall,
making.
right? I think just changing.
I
the
assume
tanks,
they gotta
you
make
probably need to
the
rework
tank
some of the
super
other stuff.
overpowered.
No, I mean they're
Make
gonna
them
have to
really
rebalance it, right? But
Yeah.
God, it's gonna be
So-
fucking crazy.
That impacts like.
I mean, what if you made Zarya bubble her entire team?
That's the thing about sort of
Yeah.
hero design and hero balance is like
No
it's
cap,
sort of
by the way. That's probably what
easy
you
in
have
some
to
sense.
do.
Honestly, it's easy, but it's certainly easier to make sort of a single hero.
Oh, I forgot
change
someone
and,
enabled
you know,
I wish to
maybe
pog,
even,
so
like,
we
a
have to
hero
be
rework
emote
that's
only
in the
mode for a
past.
minute.
But to change something.
Yeah,
so
I don't know,
fundamental
I'm-
as,
Does this
you know,
make tanks the most
there's only
valuable
one tank
position?
allowed,
now?
really kind of cascades.
Yeah.
through
There's
a
only
lot of
one of them?
It also
questions
means your
and,
tank players are going to have to be
you know,
incredibly versatile if
problems that demand answers.
So tanks are now the
So,
highest
I mean, the obvious thing that comes up.
I
people
assume
probably
they would
immediately
have
when
to
we
be
say
the
this
highest paid
is,
players
how
in
does
the league.
Roadhog work in a
Because there's
world
only
where
one of
you
them.
pick Reinhardt instead? Like how is that as an equivalent pick? So that's sort of our first question when we first were doing
Or
it
the
too.
other
Like, we like this
is that
5v5
there's
thing.
so
It was
many
super
good
fun when we
tanks around
playtested
now
it.
that you've cut
And it
them
has
in
a lot of
half,
promise.
that, competition
But okay,
forces
we
the
have to
price
solve
down.
a lot of problems if we go this way. So that's sort of why it sort of has led to this larger set of changes, and there's a lot of other changes we'll talk about as well. But it definitely cascades. You know, for example, healing. You can kind of focus on one tank now.
Yeah, that's
Tanks
also
are even
true. I mean,
easier than they,
supports
you know,
like their
are
whole
live
role
individual
change. Like
tanks is
you don't
one
have
of
to
them.
keep up two
So,
tanks
you know,
now.
thinking, well, is it
So
too good to
support's
just play, like,
entire
two
dynamic
angels and dump
changes.
healing in
It
your
just
tank, and it's
kinda
too hard to kill
dumbs it
now.
down.
Maybe
Ain't no the
healing
witch,
is
thank
too
you for
good
tier
now,
one.
Better game.
You know, it's just it's. But this is
I
the
mean, it
time
just
to
makes
do
the
it.
game
This is what we
way-
wanted to do with Overwatch 2 is
don't
look
know.
at
Makes the game way
core
easier.
things like this and make sure that.
Which I guess that's what they're
Oh,
going for.
shut up with that argument. I can't
It's been a lot of
even.
fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you know,
This is
I'm
like
not
the
a
people
designer,
who
but I
can't
think
League of
that
Legends going,
like
"Oh
this
my
is the
God,
first
League
real
of Legends is so much
opportunity you guys
easier
have
than
had
Dota."
to
Like, just don't even go down
reset.
that
Like
line
you
over.
couldn't
It's
just do this
Right.
on
Why?
a live game,
Dota.
right? I think that's kind of like
Yeah, I'd
the,
agree.
what
Wait, what are
I
you saying,
assume,
GP?
right? Is
You
that
think
this is like a
really hard skill
holistic look
cap
at the
game.
game
I think
overall and
anytime
like
you go down the realm
changes
of,
that
like, oh, it's making
you
it
couldn't do
easier,
on
it's
live
like,
because they're just so massive.
Exactly, and
You don't
like I
think
said, there's other
removing
changes
one-
that go
like,
along with this as
20%
well
Eventually
that are
exclusive.
also
Okay.
equally impactful. So
We're gonna have to
it's
mute
sort of
again because
like-
everyone complains
just, like,
because they
shift
come to a
around, like, the game, like,
co-stream.
really heavily and like all
Fine,
the
we're just gonna have to
kind
mute.
of in disarray a little bit. So some of the
We're just
heroes
gonna have
won't
to
even
mute.
be playable really by our
Fine.
playtesters here because they're either
We're
heroes
just
we're
gonna
already
mute.
Kind of looking
Magino,
at
thank you
heavily,
for
or
the
plan on
prime.
looking at heavily, so it's kind of not worth showing them in this context or ones that we haven't addressed yet, things like that. So that just sort of gives you context of like how big this kind of change is.
Well, I want to get right into the game. I
yeah.
want to see it live. I'm sure the fans want to see it live after getting all
Captions?
this like info. The first map we're going to be showing you guys today is New York City. Dion, what kind of map is this?
New
There you
York
go.
is a hybrid map, so a brand new hybrid map for Overwatch 2, and there's a fun new payload for players to battle over. The world building team had a great time.
This is
creating
like
this Overwatch
this is way different than when COD went
Tons of neat
5v5
details
because
and fun
COD
Easter eggs
like
for
there
the
are
players
roles
to
in
find,
COD but they're
so
not
I think
specializations.
It should be fun to take.
This
a look
is
at this.
fucking over a lot of people,
Yeah, no,
and it changes
when
everything
you
about
guys
the
showed this
dynamic of
at,
Overwatch.
BlizzCon Live,
I mean, like,
was so excited.
man, this is
Obviously,
pretty
from
interesting.
New York,
Ani4, thank you for the
myself
prime.
Would love to see the Midtown Tunnel go over some of the adjustments.
4v4,
that you
yeah, I
guys
should say
made,
4v4 for
to
COD.
add here in Overwatch 2. Just a beautiful map. I have to imagine.
I mean,
this is
cool
one of
map.
the locales that you guys have been dying to do for a while.
Cool
We've
map
been
though.
wanting to. There's a lot of people on the team from New York who have spent.
I don't
some
know. I
time
mean, I get
here,
there's
so
a challenge
it's
with
always been on the
tanks,
list,
and I think
Overwatch 2
long
felt
term
like
this
the
will
right
probably
time to do it.
simplify the game in a lot of ways, but man, it's gonna hurt short term.
I would say.
No.
I know,
And I'm really interested to see how they do it.
Yeah.
Because like this seems like a
yeah, this will be our first real look at 5v5. I've had the opportunity.
Well,
to,
there's no
like,
expansion
kind of
teams.
watch
Yeah.
some games
But I
as
mean,
they
like
kind of tested
that's
it
still
out.
an issue with Overwatch too.
It still keeps that Overwatch, fast-paced feel, but it doesn't have like the kind of the clumped up chaos that you sometimes see of live. I think it kind of speaks to really
Red
what you were
Draconum,
pointing
thank you
to,
for the
Jeff,
tier
is
1.
that
It'll be a completely different
when
game.
you
It will.
have,
It's gonna
that
feel
one
very
less
different.
Tank in the equation, you can actually make the tanks more aggressive.
gonna feel
and more
very different.
offensive. But it's also just kind of easier for the viewer and just people at home to track.
Yeah, absolutely. And you'll see probably a lot of play here. One of the biggest things you'll notice, because there's less protection coming from tank players just to directly block bullets for their team.
Hey, game
we'll find a lot more
Yeah, this is
player
just
on the map
strange.
corners, map angles,
I mean, I'm interested to see how they
try-
double it though.
people
What is that? Look at that Reinhardt portrait. Look at Ryan's portrait. He actually looks like the Chad.
It's a bit more tactical.
Dude, look at Ryan's portrait.
Exactly.
which is great.
Look at his portrait.
So it kind of,
It's the
that
Chad.
was one of the first things that came out of our original playtest.
What is Lucio's portrait?
A really good direction. I mean,
Lucio,
like
what
I
the
mentioned, it was
fuck?
Like, as a designer, you
What's
sort of
going
have
on
to look
here?
past the immediate problems in front of you and like, okay, we could fix those. Like, I think we can address.
He's wicked, man.
Like tank imbalance.
He's fucking wicked.
And all kinds of other stuff, but at the heart of this, which is really cool, and so that's really what we've been focusing on and working through these problems.
I think something that's really interesting about that too is the gameplay is more fluid than it was before.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times in Overwatch you get these.
How do they
these
balance
really hard
these
battle
tanks,
lines
man?
that
Oh
get
my god,
drawn
they're so
between
fucking
two
fast.
teams.
Okay, some cool graphics. How do they?
There's
What is
just
that? What is that ability on
damage
Winston?
Incoming.
What is that ability on
so
Winston?
You're able to kind of
What is
move
that?
around a little bit more.
What is
And,
that?
You'll see it here. A lot of times.
What's going on here?
The chokes aren't as hard of a
What is
space
that?
to get through. There's still a choke in the
Oh, you
map.
can't
Still
see?
have to work at it.
Here, I'll
but there
put
can
myself
be a
up
lot
here.
more
I'll
like
put myself over here.
pushing through and,
What
and
is-
pulling back on the choke, and it's something that I'm like personally.
No
personally
off tanks
really
on the
excited
field, of course.
Yeah,
I mean, because
was
what
gonna say,
off tank
how
can you even
is,
play now besides
the
Sigma or
5v5
Hog, right?
affected map
How do you even
design? I
play,
feel it
like,
kinda
specifically
has
Zarya or
a huge
Diva?
impact on,
You
playing
know?
as very well.
I just don't know how you do it.
Speaking about like players being
So
able to
there's
take
the
more
two
control
fire
of the game,
strikes.
right? Creating more flanking routes, more opportunity for the Ash to go to the
This
side.
feels
get a
like,
pick,
you know what
and
this
things
feels
like
like?
that.
It feels
Yeah,
like
there's a lot more opportunity for
like,
players
oh
to
my
do that.
god!
But at the same
He's just
time,
having the worst time.
when you go
Run,
for a
Winston.
flank, you're not leaving.
Luckily, they're
5
Genji and their
players
Pharaoh's
behind, you're leaving
pounding.
4 players behind, and so you kind of have to.
I mean,
weigh
like-
some of these decisions in your head. The game is
He's just
as
running.
strategic as it was before.
Okay,
If
so
not
this is,
more so
I don't,
because
is
of
it
the
scatter? What is this
individual
thing for
ability
Winston? I
players
don't
that have such a large
understand.
impact on
What is
the
this
match.
ability?
I think for map
What is that
design,
ability?
We've always been
What is
really
that?
careful to make spaces that feel good.
The charge
just
shot?
for one hero.
Huh.
And
Charge
sometimes we
shot.
might favor particular heroes in different
This-
areas. But
this
because of
feels
that,
like,
because we're able
honestly, it
to-
feels-
to make a space that kind of feels good for Reaper.
It
a
just,
space that
it,
feels
you know,
good
it,
for
it
Pharah.
reminds me of
I
TF2
think
where it's like a
that
5v5 arena
we'll still be
shooter,
able
but
to
now we
play
have
5v5
tanks,
on
and they're just
all
kind of
the
there.
Original catalog of Overwatch maps as well.
Like,
Right.
That is a awesome payload, Dion, by the way.
I feel like it's just like a bunch of
We've
like
always,
deathmatch.
in the artwork of the maps, we've always placed what we consider.
I mean, it's
cover
interesting.
objects.
It's
It
an
just feels now
interesting
with the 5v5
concept.
players will take advantage of that more. You know, even
Okay,
in previous
goodbye.
maps, we planned cover
Zenyatta.
objects to help protect players. Now with 5v5,
Look at this
they're
movement.
even more effective. These artistic choices.
It's such a great point too because we have started
Okay.
placing a little bit more cover
This
in our
is-
maps. And if you go back to some of the old maps, like if you look at King's Row, that middle section,
It doesn't help
section
that
of
we're
King's
watching
Row,
like
there's
players that
one
aren't very
piece of
good,
cover.
but
In that entire
Toothfish,
section,
thank you for the
it's
prime.
just corners of buildings is what you're using.
Yeah, no, that's.
I mean, like,
that's a great point.
I don't
think
even
you can kinda
understand
see
why
it
you would
here,
ever
even
play-
with, stuff
you
like that.
just play highly
I know the
mobile shit and you can
taxis
never
here
be
in the
punished.
streets, you have the little kind
Because
of
there's no
windows,
tanks
the
that ever rush you
pillar
down,
behind
right?
in the middle.
Like, how do you play? Why would you play
There's a
anything
route
other
through
than
the
Lucio
subway,
now,
there's
right?
So many different kind of angles.
Why would you play
could
anything
take.
other than Lucio?
Something
Is my
we
question.
Saw, at BlizzCon Line was the 2 fire strike.
Because like there's no like
cancel Reinhardt.
double shield possibility.
I
There's no
noticed something
bunker.
Before Jeff,
Like-
when we were on with Winston, my Winston
gonna
on
mention
live, not able to shoot at range. Can you
Right.
explain that to us a little bit?
So yeah, I was wondering if people picked up on that. So we were first watching Winston there. This is an example of some of the tank changes we're talking about in regards to 5v5, but also a larger change we're talking about making tanks a lot more aggressive, be able to be a little more hybridy on the damage side and less just raw protection.
I mean,
So
I
on
mean,
this
I like that they're
side,
trying to make them
it's
have more
unfortunate,
impact
yes.
because they're gonna have to because they don't have an off tank to keep them
But
alive.
His alternate fire there, which he's doing right now, there it is. You can charge up like a condensed blast of lightning from his gun and fire it off as a single sort of like blast attack.
I don't think it's bad. No, I'm not. I'm open
and so
to
he
it.
actually-
It's
the charge up
just
is sort of interesting
different.
with it for him 'cause you could
But
do
I
all
am
your thing.
open to
And
the
so there's,
idea.
like,
Oh my god, that Reinhardt just got
theoretically more
blocked.
burst combos you can do where you jump in
I
on top of somebody,
don't.
charge up in the air.
I don't know.
you
It's a
burst,
lot.
Release it right before you land on them, and then you get the stomp damage.
It's a lot,
too,
though.
and You can shock them or do a quick melee combo. It's a lot more interesting things. On top of the fact that with some players know a lot of times you shock somebody, they're getting away, you think you can finish them, and they just Farrah boosts away, or somebody just barely gets away. You get that extra you know, alternate fire shot to try to take him out on the way.
Like, to me,
It's
like
actually
this
interesting
is
against
just
him now
silly.
because
Like
now
this
cognizant of
example
that.
on
Sometimes you're leaving
screen
a little earlier,
is
like,
silly
I'm gonna get
because
blasted
like
probably if I
the
just, like,
enemy
run
team
away,
2
so,
should just be
I
playing
should be able to
like
survive that.
Mercy,
Yeah,
should just
that's
be
one
playing
of the
like
decisions
dive,
always in
and they would
players'
fuck up
face.
this
It's like,
team
okay,
because
I
there's
jumped
no
on
like
this
off
player,
tanks,
I've
you know?
gotten
They would just
them
insta win.
weak.
Like you
I
can't
can
keep
either
the
now
supports
get out
alive.
of my bubble and try to
'Cause there's no off
finish
tanks.
them off, or just kind of
Like
hope a
this,
teammate
so
does,
this
but now
composition
giving
is
him-
already like
I think it
kind
kind
of
of goes back to
broken,
more
you
like
know?
that player, agency that you were talking about, being able to kind of take over the game, being able
Like
to
you have a
finish it
Genji
off.
dying to the Rhine.
Nano boosted Rhine.
Sure.
This will never get old. Just seeing
Like,
just
this
seeing
shit-
Reinhardt nano boosted.
I
just
feel
swinging.
like I
I'm
feel
sure it
like
makes the
this
fans out
this
there
is like
happy
not a
that,
good
that was
indicator
a
because
Dragon Blade ulti
double
Genji
slow
user
supports are
was
just gonna get
couch
rolled
is,
by with
it's
no
kind of
off
the
tank.
bane of existence of a
You
lot
know,
of
and I don't know
people.
how they balance that
But
properly.
this
That's
is,
my
I guess,
question.
The second
This
checkpoint, right?
man,
So this will unlock the interior.
Of Grand Central Station.
should we test this?
Oh, this is awesome. So the
Well, I don't
payload
know
kinda
if that.
goes
Well, the thing is, we're not
inside
really.
of
We
the
can't really
station
test
and,
this because
kinda
we need
curves
the
around, I
balance for the
guess.
current supports and tanks in this Overwatch 2.
You can see the payload
demo.
is driven by an Omnic, who is
Yeah.
a little Easter egg to our production
So-
production director on the team.
There's no real way to actually test how
Our
it's gonna
executive
feel.
producer.
So he got a name.
Yes, Chaco.
Seems like healing is faster and DPS is higher.
fan favorite.
Well,
Oh, he's
that's
even
even
got
worse,
that.
right?
I
Like
realized.
healing being
I thought it was
faster is
it
something,
was like an
but if
unofficial
DPS
name,
is
like,
higher,
yeah,
then you've just
Chaco,
negated
no,
those two
he's-
issues,
yeah,
right? You've
pursuit.
essentially just
Our
made a
executive
net
producer,
zero
he's
impact,
helped us out a lot. And it was
except
only
you made
fitting
tank lives
he
worse.
has, that we
He's lived in New
honor
York
him.
as well,
Yeah.
so he helped out a lot on this map.
I'm
we have,
open
countless debates
to the
about the
idea
right
though.
to
I feel
pizza
like
with-
tanks are an issue. They don't know how to balance them, so I'm open to 5v5. I'm just skeptical. I think it's an interesting idea. It's less burden for teams to have. Like I am open to it.
For a different stream.
But like this shit is not going to be happening in a pro match because no one's going to be playing like Orion and Orisa and shit, you know?
You also notice, at least I noticed.
Like, I just don't see how that would
sounds,
work.
especially when like Ash.
yeah.
Kafka
shoots.
underscore
That
420,
is
thank you for the
something that,
prime.
it was discussed at BlizzCon Line, but I think it's different to kind of see it in action and also to see
This
all
A.
the other players at the same time with
Did
those
they say
audio
Overwatch 2
changes.
is 5v5?
Just makes
Yes,
the game
Overwatch
feel
2 is
even
5v5. They have
more
100%
realistic.
confirmed. This is the beta,
the
essentially. This is a
sounds
play
can get
test.
really punchy,
that
and
they're
it just
showing, like, an
feels
early demo,
good
I'm
to hold the
assuming.
trigger down with these different heroes, but you also get more information from it. So we've spent a lot of time not just developing what these sounds are, but how they play in different environments.
Do you think they didn't get
So
pro players
we've
because they
kind
think
of
it'd be dog
upgraded
shit
the
meta-wise?
entire
Well,
sound system
Team
across
4 has
the
always
game.
had,
So
like,
let's
a
say when,
relatively
that
indifferent
Ashe is in a side room
position
firing
with
from
pro
that
play.
room, you really kind of
I felt like they
understand
probably
where
just
they're
didn't even
at,
think
what type
about
of
it because they don't
environment that
care.
they're in, better than you did before, and then you can kind of take that information and make different decisions, or additional decisions because of it.
All right, so we got a map complete from the offense here. Not bad. Not bad in their first go. The players are so competitive. I have to say this to the stream. That
I want to see
like,
1-1-3. Yeah,
everybody
sure.
Have a great time, and then everyone's like, "Put your
Thoughts on the
SR in
map? The
chat,
map's
we're
cool.
gonna
I
be
think
balanced
Overwatch
teams."
always has
Like,
cool
who's
looking
playing
maps.
what?
I don't.
It's,
The high ground makes this
it's
map
just-
look
I feel like it's just the nature of
insanely
Overwatch,
big.
right? Like,
And
it
I
always
feel like
starts
there's
off
also another
really
map. Why is no one
cool,
playing
and
Widow?
you lose
The
again,
sightlines are
God.
gigantic, and there's
Like,
two.
Everybody pick it up. Like let's
There's
change
like
things.
two. There's no
Except
longer
that
a second
like,
tank.
you're
So why would you
playing
not just play
lots in
Widow?
your chair, and then you lose, and you leave
Right? Why would you not just play Widow all the time?
Get the-
What's up,
yeah,
Jane?
posture.
It's those nights of ranked where you lose like two and you're like you win one. And
One
then
team
you're
is
like,
playing
"Ah,
Ashe,
I
yeah,
lose,"
but
and then you-
Widow is better
you
than
lose
Ashe at
even
these
more,
long
and
ranges,
then
right?
you
When there's
wake
no
up, you're like,
tanks.
Why'd I do that? Like 500 SR down the drain. That's
Yeah.
If there's
so
no
this will be
tanks
an
to punish you, why not
opportunity
just
to
play
see,
Widow?
Roadhog has
And like,
a solo
sure, you can like counter Widow or like try to play dive.
offensive
Like
side
that's
here.
pretty much your force to just like try to play dive if you
It's
don't
gonna
counter
be-
Widow. So.
Even on live.
What if they
just takes up
shift
so
off
much
tanks to the DPS
space.
role, but there'd still be
Like,
tanks, right?
And he takes up space.
They'd still be
not with
tanks, and the
shield,
issue
but
is it doesn't
just
solve for
body,
any
as I say
off-tank
that,
players
and,
where
Zarya's
they've
hot,
been
but,
committed to playing off-tanks
talk
for
to me a
years
little bit
now.
about like the thoughts on how like the
Also, you can play.
Roadhogs
Well, you don't want to play
are
anything other than ball
even
because
Zarya,
Sombra
I
would
know
fuck
there's some
you.
Interesting stuff with Zarya.
Because there's no tank to peel for you.
Yeah, so like I said,
Like there's no Zarya, there's no Diva. Like
yeah.
sort of addressing her
Ball
right
would
now,
still kind of get fucked by
like, because
Sombra, I would
Once
think.
we started going to one tank, it was sort of the big question was like, kind of what what direction are we pushing tanks now? We're trying to make.
Okay, let me see how this Zarya works.
Static.
Luckily, Team 2 is fucking feeding.
Big barriers
Because I'm watching a Zarya walk forward 4 bubbles, sure. I mean, give Zarya as many bubbles as you want. What she, I mean, like,
give them some more.
The thing
aggression,
is,
give them more-
like, this guy's playing Rhine. Why is he playing Rhine? Just play
so
Winston and you
definitely
win.
I'll take that ladder
Just
route.
play
I'm
Winston
playing
and you'll
this,
just
like,
win.
Not only is it just
Like,
more fun to have that kind
I
of
don't
extra
know.
speed and aggression, but you know, a lot of what people
It's a shared cooldown
comments
too.
in the past when the metas get too full of barriers and shields and
Interesting. It's a
sometimes
shared cooldown as well, so you're not
the
even
one
getting
Orisa
4
blocking
bubbles
you with just the chain
because it's
shields,
shared.
like, you know, people had comments like, "Oh, I feel like I'm shooting shields all the time," which so like we were definitely hearing all that, and you could see some of
Interesting.
the balance changes we made in the past in the live game. Have been trying to address this, but once we
Interesting.
got into this situation, we're like, "Oh, this is sort of an opportunity actually here to reduce a lot of these effects."
They were
And
late
we
for the
still
April
want them to
Fool's
be
patch.
there,
I mean, like,
present and be important,
I
support people
honestly
at
do
least.
like the
They
idea
still
of
have
trying to
decent
make the
amount of
game
health,
more
but, you know,
dynamic,
less than
and like
they
they
had before.
clearly don't know what the fuck to
But
do
then
about
in
tanks.
response to
But
that,
look
because
at these guys play
it's
fucking
surviving,
Reinhardt, man.
people
Like,
they
it's just they just can't. It doesn't help that it's obviously Team 2 is way worse than Team 1, but like, come on,
So he's
like.
canceling charge
You
is one of
just
those, like,
can't do
sneaky
shit.
things that seems
You
like
won't. You're not
some
gonna be
people
able to
might
do a
think they might
goddamn
change, but
thing on
it almost,
Rhine.
like, completely changes how he plays
Like at
in a lot of
all.
ways. It's
There's
actually really
nothing
fun
you'll be
because
able to
you
do.
can, it has a really fast.
You'll just be
recovery
running
cancel,
around the
so
whole
you can, like,
time.
charge up to a group and then cancel and immediately ult and just like knock everyone down. So the fact that you can even do that is its own now like sort of mini game that people play where you can kind of bluff with it. If people know you have your ult or think you have your ult, you can just charge right at them, and they're trying.
Like,
not
look
to
at this
get
guy.
stunned.
Look
They
at this.
don't wanna
Look.
fight you necessarily.
I'm getting to play
Because
right.
they don't wanna get
I mean,
pushed.
it's just so
Like, most people are
sad.
running for cover and you
It's
don't even
so
have it or you save it or
sad.
something, so- and it also just
Oh
allows him to,
boy,
you know,
it's
get
a
in there and be
sad
more aggressive
time.
without sacrificing his health bar.
Yeah, it just sounds like another change, almost like how you kind of mentioned, like stuff like that Winston combo,
MTD, a little
kind of,
MTD
you know,
there.
as you're playing and testing and seeing all these different things, like yeah, where the Winston combo.
I feel like, you know, the more I see it, Zarya, the new Zarya is good if she's playing against Rhine. But if you don't play against Rhine, I don't see how Zarya is ever good either, you know?
Another layer of canceling the charge,
like
being able to. I remember.
How do you like? How is like? I think Zarya's fine versus the Rhine, but what do you do versus like the Winston? I mean, maybe against Hog still, actually, but you're still just getting shot by other DPS.
To control his charge more, so you can actually turn around corners more.
Oh yeah.
So the,
that'll
the
work.
charge, while you can cancel, it's also more aggressive and it's more.
Brigida's also going to be good against peeling for the back line.
Really
Yeah.
interesting. If you look at if people have noticed what's happening with Zarya, is she has 2 charges to her bubble now.
Yes, I am noticing that. I am noticing that, Overwatch
It's
devs.
actually what we playtested in the April Fool's patch. So as people probably noted, like, you know, some of those changes were, a lot of them were just silly, kind of fun, like permanently flying Sigma. But, you know, there were some changes we threw in there. I was like, let's see how people react to this. I'm curious what people think. Like, maybe this is something we could try.
April Fools, guys. Any April Fool? Anyone else having a fun moment? Anyone else having a good April Fool's moment here? Guys, we removed the tanks.
It took me a while to
Silly
get used to
champ.
the changes, but once I really dug
Silly
in
champ. Any foolers?
and settled with these changes,
Anyone else?
I realized it's how I.
Anyone else having a silly
always wanted
time?
To play Reinhardt this way, basically. You know, the charge in and
Yeah, we were joking about that the other day, where even
Also,
like,
God, Torb,
like,
dude.
the
Torb, man.
charge just feels
Like,
so
I guess
right
you could
that-
play long range hit scan and
but
fuck
you're
him,
so,
right?
like,
Because there's no
trained
tanks
to
for him to
kind of
hide
how it
behind.
is,
Like,
where you're just
what?
charging
How do you
the
even play
walls.
Torb?
That I was like,
How do you even play
I was like, I
Torb,
don't have to
dude?
do this anymore.
Like, he's just gonna
I
get
can just
rolled by
go,
long
like,
range shit because there's no
it's
shields.
such like a great quality of life change.
There's no fucking shields, man.
Yeah, something
also
else
worth
I
noting-
think that's
oh, go on.
really interesting here is this,
And,
this fight's been
and then if you're
going
trying to
on
play
for a
like
while.
dive,
Neither
there's
tank
no
is falling.
like double off
And
tank to
the
zone him
support
out
has been doing
either.
such a good
Torb
job
gets
at
fucked both
keeping
ways.
The tanks up because there's only one of them that they have to actually focus on, and the fights feel really
Less visual
good
clutter or
being
2 tanks?
the
I mean,
tank player now. Like, the
I
amount
think
of
less
times
visual
you get
clutter
into
is
this
always cool,
situation
right? But Overwatch is
where
always going to have
it
some
feels
extent to visual
hopeless.
clutter
You're
because
low
it's
on health.
an ultimate and ability-based
There's a
game
bunch of the
with
enemy
multiple different
players
roles.
focusing on you,
Overwatch is always
and
going to have
you're
more visual
able to
clutter than
still
fucking
come
like
out of it.
CS:GO or even League,
It
you know?
feels so
Maybe not
incredibly good,
Valorant
and you
because
feel
right now the
really
meta is
powerful.
crazy, but like Overwatch,
it's,
even you would have to remove
I
way
think
more
that-
players to
that
make it
has
less
be
visually
something that you
cluttered.
guys have kind of gotten in feedback that from a support's point of view, you're able to dump resources into just one tank, and that also
is
probably
this?
frees you up to do a little bit of other stuff, right? Where the Batiste can do a little bit more damage. You can kind of orb the tank and then focus on the damage. So, probably has to be way easier in supports now.
Yeah, we got a lot of feedback from support players. It it's a lot easier to focus, and a lot of times you almost have this like communication between the two support players, and you have like Mercy's like.
Have they like also? I don't see how like how is Xin ever going to live?
Spot heal.
Like, let's be honest.
Speed everybody up. But there's other strats.
I'm like, I just don't see how Xin ever survives either, even if you play BAP or Brigitte, right?
Tank that even with like Discord Orb on him, it's just hard to kill him. So
like, do you just play like? Do you go back to Rogue meta? Is Soldier meta again simply because he can drop a heal station for your Zenyatta because you have nothing to eat the damage? Is Soldier just good? Is this the ultimate plot for Legs? For Legs to come back? Is this it? Is Soldier just insta meta again because he's mobile and can drop heal back?
I think on live, like it's kind of displayed on the right.
Yeah,
we're generally looking through this.
Go ahead. Sorry, Jeff.
I was saying we're generally looking at anywhere we can improve hero-specific UI stuff like this, and we felt like this could use a big update.
So it's like a completely new game with a whole new set of problems, some of which we're fixing and perfecting now on the drain. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a whole new experience that seems like it's fixed some issues, but is adding a whole another group of issues. Hey, but your DPS queues are gonna be fast.
And so it's just a lot easier.
Yo, your DPS queues are gonna be fast, guys. Any other fast DPS queues?
Like a nameplate,
and it's not off to the side, right? It's like center screen, so you're able to still kind of focus down the middle.
Yeah, and you can see his Discord is down.
I mean, to be fair, Loki, and the thing is, faster queues are good for the game. They are technically good for the game, but like,
at the bottom of the screen.
I'm like I said, I'm open
I can imagine
to this.
the comms.
I'm open to this. I am just skeptical. I'm not trying to be too much of a Debbie Downer. A lot of this. It's a lot,
this has really been, I gotta say, for you guys, probably,
it's a lot.
This is probably awesome to see, like the game actually being. It's one thing I think to play, but now to like observe and be able to watch, and obviously the people you guys.
Reaper OP. Well, Reaper won't be OP awesome. Because of the fact that like Hitscan can just own him because he doesn't have doesn't have shields. Like that's the thing. Like the more I look at this, it's like Genji Tracer or like Tracer Legs are actually gonna be sick, right? Or like Widow on like long maps. Like what do you do against Rush style or long range style? There's no shields to mitigate this, like Doomfist would probably still be okay, but you have Sombra.
When I was playing,
I'm replacing Matt Morello.
And so it's just
I'm Mr. X
really
now.
Good to
Me.
have that out in front of in front of our community. So
I'm Mr. X now.
What we've been doing.
Hey guys, I'm Matt Morello. Hey guys.
Curious if people picked up on it after one game. Like one example of a small change that. Actually, we may end up removing, but it's in this build right now.
Okay.
I'm
gonna put myself back.
For a while now, but we just had reduced discussion. Maybe we want to pull it again.
Tell them how you feel. I feel
the movement acceleration
interested
rate of everybody in the game.
Karathan, thank you for the prime.
And the
You're not short enough. Wrong.
To try to create
wrong.
A little more.
Now I'm Matthew Morello.
To shooting an enemy as opposed to like you can kind of.
Now I'm Matthew Morello.
Times, or just like turn directions so fast that it was really hard to lead a shot, or sometimes it felt like you're.
Put yourself instead of Aaron and fix the game. Okay.
So we tried to like just notch it down just a little bit so you.
Okay, guys. April Fools. Just kidding. Jeff actually left to get a sandwich, and he'll be right back. 2 tanks are coming back. We're gonna actually add more heroes. We're removing Paris, and then on top of that, we're gonna fix Koth, and then we're any DPS player that complains, we're going to ban them on site. So yeah, game saved. New content. Thank you. This was just a joke, and yeah. We'll be back then. All good. It's okay.
We're looking at like
it's okay. Also, we're gonna add not only that, we're also gonna add new game modes. Instead of just like taking out tanks, we're gonna add new game modes too. We're gonna release some content. And yeah, so it's gonna be good. And we're gonna make Junkertown, but we're actually gonna give new content to, or not Junkertown, Junkenstein's Revenge. We're gonna bring it back, but we're gonna add different maps and waves and enemies because instead of just recycling the same shit.
I'll be honest, I was a little bit skeptical when I first heard about 5v5, ripped to the off tanks kind of thing. But I don't know, based off watching that first map there on New York, I don't know, it looks quite spicy. This could be quite good.
Yeah, no,
What's up,
I'm
Stylosa?
really excited. Like,
unmute the Discord call? Yeah, I should probably unmute. Have they all left? I feel like they've all left.
As long as I gotta wait, but now like seeing.
Hello, I'm back because now we're not watching gameplay, so my chat's not gonna re-at me. when you talk, even though they came to tune into a co-stream.
It's okay. I don't know. That gameplay was super disorienting. They didn't show any of the new character changes, and they didn't show like the overall map. So like,
yeah, I still don't understand. Like, it's also just unfortunate because like you could even tell just in that like, what does Ryan get to do ever with this? Like, how is Ryan even gonna be played?
We can bring
it went from tanks being too oppressive, I guess, with 2 tanks.
As our next
like,
map's gonna be a game mode that we saw at BlizzCon in 2018. It seems like forever ago. Is
the main tank role still gonna have to
how
get,
has
like,
the game
heavily
mode
redesigned?
changed
Like, I
since
think
we last saw?
You're not looking at all like Ryan and Winston. In
we
their
haven't
final forms.
made
You have to
a
buff
lot
the
of
shit out
changes
tanks
to the
relative to
mode
where they are
itself, at least as far as like the big rules go for it.
Turn on the
But we've
stream.
continued developing for it, so we
I mean,
have
it's also
more
hard to
than
judge
one
off the
push
gameplay
map,
'cause,
like
these
in
aren't
development.
the
And I
best
think we have
players
more than
that are-
one that
you
we'll
know, it's
even be
just devs
looking
playing.
at today. So we're really committed.
So they said they're gonna release multiple push maps then?
A lot of fun playing them.
I feel like also going to 5v5 is probably better for push than it is for the other game modes.
Sort of looks like it's a riff on
You know? Because if you still had 2 tanks on push, you would have to like you'd be sitting there taking really long like extended fights, while like with a 5v5 it's going to be a lot faster, quicker like skirmishes that happen multiple times versus like a long trench warfare like phalanx v phalanx 2 tanks type of shit. So I could see how that fits into the wider design. Drams, thank you for the tier 1.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I just think there's not enough here for me to judge the gameplay, and it's like this product is not finished yet. Like they could balance in any number of ways.
One interesting thing about it all, though, is just the idea that if you look at the amount of heroes in the game now, arguably you have like way too many tank characters.
I mean, yeah, now you have one person, at least for Overwatch League. I mean, I guess for at any level, you're now as the sole tank player responsible for the entire cast.
Yeah,
like that's kind of ridiculous to me.
That's a huge amount.
Yeah, it was pretty.
That's a lot of fucking.
That's a lot. I don't know. Is there like? There's probably like maybe a handful of players on one hand that are going to be able to, like, sort of make that transition off the bat. You know.
We're playing against random people.
The other thing too, you have to think about design pipeline here is that you're probably not going to see many new tanks introduced in OW2 now.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, you don't. Yeah. You shouldn't need any tanks.
But that just means what? But I mean, that just means we're going to be adding like DPS and supports all the time. But it's like,
how do you guys think it feels now?
That's a disappointing thought too. Just because I liked tanks, I like the.
No, I think so. I think tanks should have half the cast of the others. So like once it reaches a point where
no shot they're actually gonna push this.
I would say
they've already made the announcement, man. What do you mean push it? They've already made the announcement. Do you mean like not push it for Overwatch League? Sherma underscore. Thank you for the tier 1.
Wavy path that the robot travels on. So the objective is kind of always moving back and forth, and then we have a lot of very direct routes across the map that the players can take. And because
you can't just revert it, guys. You can't just be like, I hope they revert it. They've announced it. It's out of the bag, man. Like, you can't put it back. It's done. It's done. It's gonna happen. Like, it's happening.
Well, like they've developed this game based on. I'm sure 5v5 wasn't something they just threw in at the end. You know,
like worrying about where they're
I would say the biggest driver here, again, people look at things. Obviously, people on the stream will be more from an OWL perspective. Bear in mind, I'm sure a lot of this is that they had data along the lines of, wow, we're looking at queue times. No one wants to fucking play tank. No one in any game has ever been able to like make people play tanks on a regular basis. What do we do? Reduce the amount of tanks by
different types of routes you can take.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure the data was.
I'm excited. Let's jump into map number 2. This will be Toronto. This will be push. This is the map that we actually saw.
2 DPS, 2 supports, 1 Shad.
It was awesome. Then I'm excited to see some of like the flanking.
I want to see the push game mode here, because I have a feeling that the push game mode is going to fit much more in line with this design philosophy.
Has Reaper been tearing it up?
Is this where we mute? Is this where we be quiet?
I'm not sure. Honestly, it depends on how mad people get.
All right.
It's
just a matter of time till someone gets upset.
Yeah. When I was watching it,
when we had the map at BlizzCon, it was definitely a work in progress, and it's still a work in progress now.
This is what you guys get for not using flex queue. Yes.
And art resources
It's our
into the
fault.
map since then.
Well, people use flex queue. They just fucking abuse that shit.
It's our fault, guys.
I know. I see.
Everyone's like, it's your fault they were moving tanks from the game.
It's like so giddy. Like
The worst part is
like
that this could
it's
just
so fun,
backfire.
I feel like
the way it works in WoW
push
is
is
like
gonna
if your
add
tank
a
player
different
sucks,
type
they
of
just get
element
flamed.
to the game.
And then if all the
that,
tank
like,
players die and then their
escort
team just flaming
and,
them, and they just
hybrid,
stop
like you
playing,
mentioned,
and then
like
you
a
just don't have
payload
tank.
Yeah,
So I think
I
push
mean,
can
and that's what I'm just.
But
It's
there's
literally
so
just
much
now a
more
question of how do
movement, I
you,
feel like, than both of those, and
how do you
just-
balance the
take so many
tanks?
different fights
You
all
know?
over the map.
Why would the
and I also
pros
love
tank
the
to
fact
mad?
that
These tanks will all be fun. One tank diversifies the comps.
what
Dylan, I'm gonna tell you something very important. Dylan, I'm gonna tell you something very important. You have a good idea, but you know, it's sort. Imagine if your dad worked at the factory, Dylan, and they said, and your dad does a very specific job at the factory. He like assembles one particular car part, and they've announced that we're automating your job, and we're just getting rid of it. We don't need it anymore. But everyone else gets to keep their job. It's sort of like that. They've specialized in a very particular thing, and they're losing their jobs now.
A little
You know?
confused, but
He's got the spirit. He's got the spirit. And also,
the game mode itself
They took
wasn't
our
really
jobs.
doing anything to enforce that the way it might in
and also on top of that,
and
there's
so
no
it
guarantee
could,
this diversifies
but
tank
we
comps,
have
right?
that, to where the game mode is actually
Because like, I don't know how Ryan's gonna work.
Two supports? Did they say if they're forcing two supports?
It seems like that's gonna be
It looks like 2-2-1
setup.
is
Yeah, 2-2-1 is the
But
setup.
is that like? But is that like? That's like a lock
right
thing.
now.
Like you're
So
not
yeah,
allowed
it
to
is.
change
It
that.
is pretty fast. I think
I
it's
don't know.
definitely.
Because I want.
intended-
I think it'd be
1-1-3 sounds sick.
If they did 5 heroes and like, or 5v5, but like you could be any hero you want, like they removed
Sorry,
Overwatch.
I had to flame the shit out of James. When James says that 5v5 was the same fight in Overwatch League, it's like, do you not realize how fucking big
Overwatch League was not.
is relative to OWL?
I can tell you, yeah,
Please
Overwatch.
on that.
They did not consider Overwatch League implications.
No, definitely not.
Oh, they don't care. I mean, but I don't blame them. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
saying that's just business. That's just where we're.
I mean, I think there's an interesting idea here, and it will shorten queue times, right? It's just I'm just trying to figure out how tanks are gonna be balanced, man. Like this guy's playing Diva, they're playing Sombra, man. Look at Quirky Turtle play
They
Diva.
just have to make. They gotta make them bigger, dude. You gotta make them like. You gotta turn them into like gargantuan.
in action is,
Like
yeah, you
every
see, like,
every
all the
tank needs
buildings
like
being
built.
kinda
They need more
coupled
cooldowns. They need like a built-in
this-
DR.
Dude, this
They're
fucking
built-in
Diva,
heal.
man.
Yo, look at this guy. They were like, we're not.
Like,
adding
what are you
5
gonna
CC
do?
push. We're
How are you
literally
gonna play
add push.
Diva? How are you gonna play Diva, man?
Dude,
If
they
you play
added
Sombra,
payload.
how are you ever gonna play Diva?
Dude, what was that mode in Team Fortress 2? It was like payload tug of war.
Yep.
Is that what this
Dude,
is?
they need to make these tanks like
Is
just
this PLR? or
Chad
whatever it's
Prime.
called?
They need to be
Payload?
like they need to be Optimus.
I will
Prime,
admit,
like-
Diva is doing a lot of fucking damage, though. They have given Diva a
Dude, you
ridiculous
go
amount of
Sombra,
Diva.
dude, you just hack the singular tank, and then what do you do?
God, honestly, playing tank would be so stressful now.
No, it would be
as being the
stressful. You'd just be
alone
dead.
tank,
You
and
have
you
to
just
pick. No, you just have to pick the character that gets. You have to pick ball like every game, so you can just die as fast as possible and get back as fast as possible.
Okay, you know what? I said that the push game mode was supposed to be faster skirmishes. This is not a fast skirmish, by the way. This is currently two teams that can't kill each other.
Yeah,
They do
I
not
think
know
it
how to
might
hit their shots.
I think it's a skill level, and there's they introduced a lot more cover, so there's a lot of
They all just stood next to the bomb
hide behind.
and
The other
died.
thing that's like weird is a lot of the map plays in this so bizarre because you can't like.
Yeah, but it's just more space.
Like, leave
Sane
one
Girl
person
with the
behind
tier
now is
2.
like
Thank
way
you,
more
Sane Girl with the
fun.
31 months.
I'm somebody
Like,
who,
defense gets a
I
big
play
buff
a ton
actually out of this.
DPS, like.
Hey, at least the robot's cool looking.
Maybe not everybody.
Yeah,
Look at him.
Like a death ball.
He looks like he kind of looks like Baymax's buff brother, you know?
The graphics are kind of nice.
Yeah, graphics are interesting looking.
Oh wow, what a sleep!
What is that?
Oh, there you got woken up.
That's really good work, Diva. Keep it up. Keep it
One
up.
more. I feel like the
Soundbar
classes
doesn't
look
give
too
green health when I do
the same.
So that's something.
I'm seeing 0 high ground control.
I also don't know how this Diva isn't constantly hacked, you know? Like, how is the opposing team Diva not constantly hacked?
Look at the sovereign flavor.
Lumpy, you're gonna have to pick it up, Lumpy.
Big B.
You're gonna have to pick it up.
How is that translocator still alive? It's literally right in front of the team.
So, you know, once
Okay, well, the EMP's alright. EMP's not terrible.
Okay, what is...
senses, you know, like mentioned with
You guys wanted to mute us for this gameplay?
No, I think people say we don't have to mute now that we've seen, like, the initial announcement. So,
okay.
PvE talents and stuff like that. Your health bar can
I don't think they're gonna reveal anything else that's like, they didn't kill the baby Diva! Okay.
And then shields, and then overhealth.
Thoughts on having one support rather than one tank? That would be even worse because tanks would never get healed.
I think you need one of both.
You sort of have to have like more supports than you do. Like you sort of have to have at least a 1-to-1 ratio or like a greater support ratio.
Concept now, and so
lip job security intact. Yeah, they got lip to that's actually lumpy. Lumpy is lip.
Yeah, that'd be sick actually. A 3 support comp where you just like all in the tank and you just like.
Soldier 76 sounds like he's shooting the Lego gun from the Bastion Lego gun.
1 DPS instead, guys. 1 DPS would literally never work because people would lose their goddamn minds.
The 4 supports.
People would lose their goddamn minds if it was 1 DPS.
DPS already took forever to queue. Imagine having 1 DPS. Oh my god.
DPS players would be out rioting in the streets.
You would actually never play a DPS game.
So is there like kind of capture points?
They need to make.
I mean, change the respawns at all?
They're gonna have to rebound. They're gonna have to repurpose some characters. Like you can't just make Roadhog can't be a tank, right? Like what is Roadhog now?
I mean I don't know.
I think they need to completely redesign the tanks if they're gonna do.
I think they need to give every single tank an immunity and like a DR.
Yeah.
2 extra abilities.
Like they need tanks either.
Okay, everyone, let's all watch this Reinhardt play the game. By the way, I want to watch this Rein gameplay for the next like minute and just see what he does.
Okay.
The answer is nothing. The answer is nothing, by the way. The answer is currently nothing. The answer is still nothing. Nothing is being done by this Reinhardt.
He's getting bladed.
Nope, he's just getting shot repeatedly. He's just getting shot repeatedly. He needs 20 fire strikes. They need to give Reinhardt a Gatling gun.
No, they need to.
Ryan has 2 fire strikes.
You know what they should do? They should give him the
Grop underscore. They give him the prime.
And he just like puts it up and it
a shield
bash.
bash.
No, like a blade mail. Like if you shoot it, it reflects.
You just like stop hurting yourself.
Yeah.
And it got like really chaotic, and you'd have no idea where you were gonna spawn. So we
this isn't bad. DPS player spotted. DPS player spotted. Don't get me wrong. I think this is gonna make the game more fluid. I think it'll be interesting to DPS players, but it changes the whole.
You give Reinhardt lifesteal on
one
swing.
second, I would spawn
That'd be
close,
fucking
and then
sick.
Stylosis spawns the next second, and he's far away.
Yep. And I mean, that happens in Overwatch, you know.
I do think this is going to make the game more fluid. I think it's going to be easier, like, logistically and for queue times, but it's kind of hard to see, like, I don't see an argument to how this hasn't made some tanks irrelevant.
Replace the red team with bots, and this looks like fun, honestly.
Yeah.
Like actual bots, like this is just PvE, and I was just helping Bob push the fucking little wall thing across the map.
Both using shared charges, so yeah, we found that because
you're an off-tank player? Well, I have to show you're off-tank player. They look like they have a lot of fun. Look like they're having a lot of fun currently.
What's that? Question mark?
Yeah, question mark. What's that? I mean, the thing is like this is not a good indicator of how your games are gonna go because we are watching
but
devs.
This is a good indicator of how the PvE is gonna go.
Yeah, that's fair.
It looks sick.
No, PvE is even more PogChamp than this, right?
That's what I mean.
Oh my
This
mercy!
looks fun. If you replace the red team with bots, this looks like fun.
I also can imagine the people that I would play
because it's
with
just
on
5 people
Zarya
and you have a
would
tank
just
get people alive.
It kind of already looks like a hard bot game to me.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just trying to be respectful.
You're gonna save a lot of money in the offseason? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just, man.
He only like a 7-man roster now. It's actually pretty pog.
Yeah, 7-man rosters would be okay. I could see 7-man rosters being good.
7 or 8, maybe 8.
Ridiculous.
We already have 7-man rosters. We got 7-man rosters at home.
Yeah. Open the fridge. 7-man rosters at home.
I got one at home.
It's like
right
a picture.
now.
It's a picture of Year 1 Mayhem. We have these rosters at home.
Oh yeah.
Really well.
So many.
7-man rosters is always.
Also, wait just one moment. The robot has to slowly walk, like all the way back.
They killed him.
After,
They killed
but
him. He has to respawn. They killed him.
It's
this is really slow.
Concerned about it in some cases, but it also leads to some really awesome play. So kind of let
This
the
guy,
robot
the robot
This is
springs
like
back.
this game. This
Look
like
at him
concept is
go!
good, like, in
Such
theory,
speed.
But you almost. I feel like they had to. I feel like they have to literally delete every character and then remake it.
OT. How does the rule here work?
Like,
I
I
guess
don't-
they
you
have to
can't,
push
like,
all the way
leave
to the
game
end,
the
or
way
do
it
they
is.
just have
Like,
to?
Junkrat can't be like the trap and
time
tire
of the
guy
blue
anymore.
team?
He needs like
They
something
just
else.
need to be.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, the thing is, it's a lot of these, because especially, like, for the push game mode, like, there's no...
Whoever has pushed it the furthest by the end
I don't
of
know.
time wins, or
There, I mean, like, the thing is, like, the Junkrat, like, the Junkrat only exists for choke point pushing, generally, right? Or, like, holding, I should say. So, like, when are you ever gonna play Junk and, like,
Well, Junk might be a sick
tragedy
PvE character.
Like a PvE character, right?
Yeah, I mean that's good. Though.
And also on top of that, Junkrat is like really good against tanks, and there's less tanks. So like how does Junkrat exist?
Yeah. But the thing is, like, I feel like healing and damage values are gonna be like they're so fragile.
I think Junkrats are good, like are good squishy hunters. They're just used for tanks.
I just feel like
most people just can't hit squishies.
Oh, that's a problem.
No, they're stopping them.
I imagine these games go.
Red team, no, team 2.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Why is the blue guy pushing the red thing?
This is going to be quite good for Overwatch.
Like, is the blue guy on the red team right now, or is the blue guy neutral?
I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed watching that.
Yeah, I think Stylus.
Oh boy, I don't know. I mean, if you're whoever the off tank player was that was talking about this, guys, I just watched him play Zarya and just not do shit because he's playing Zarya, and like you just can't win because there's a ton of space.
Well, there's a world where the off tanks become DPS.
I mean, the off tank players should just become DPS, except for maybe Hog. I could see Hog maybe still being okay, or Sigma.
I mean, like, you could play like, I feel like you could play like Hog. Yeah, I think you could play Sigma. But it depends on if you need them, right? Because like you probably want more heals, right? Like if you only have one tank, you want more off heals. Like the more off heals, the better.
Well, I mean, if you're playing like Winston, you don't need more heals because you can play for burst. You can play for like you could literally play like Lucio. I think Lucio Xin could actually make a comeback with like one tank.
More often than it doesn't, and it was a decision that
no joke.
Yeah, but it just becomes it's just a hypothetical game at that point. But it's like
what was more important
because offense has to stand on the point all the time. Like defense can.
Oh no, I'm not talking about in push though necessarily. Like in other because like it's different in push because it requires constant point presence, right? Unless you want to play for like fights off the cart or off the point. But like for the other game modes, I don't see how dive is ever gonna lose necessarily. Aside from like long range
defensive dive sounds like it's just gonna be absurdly good. And then if you're playing like defensive dive all the time, like what do you do on offense? Like, I don't know. What characters do you play? Do you want more healing? Do you want more damage? Do you bring too much damage?
She looks broken now. How does she look broken now, Gabe? Gabe, how does D.Va look broken? Explain to me, because she did a lot of damage. I don't understand. I don't see how D.Va's looking broken, man. I'm not seeing it.
We need lanes. We need a laning phase. We need gold. We need last hits on creeps. What was that game, Paragon?
This is really scary.
Just like Paragon. The tanks are the mid players.
What we're thinking
and
for
you
a lot
said
of
the support and a carry to each lane.
Off tanky kind of characters before, Roadhog and D.Va. We saw D.Va there played as well.
Though granted, I mean theoretically, if she gets more flight time, I could see D.Va being more viable than I think. If she has more damage and more flight time.
If they give literally every tank like a 5 or 10 second DR and then like some way to heal themselves and like maybe an immunity on like a 30-second cooldown, like just give them like 2 more cooldowns that just give them like tankiness. This could work. But like just throw Reinhardt into 5 people, like that's not gonna work.
Isn't Ball just going to be best solo tank? Well, not necessarily, because Ball works a lot of the time now because Sombra can kind of like... Sombra isn't getting free hacks all the time because of Bubble or because of the peel from D.Va. Or you have like point presence that makes you turn around. But if you have one tank, it's a lot harder to give space like for your Ball to have free space or to like save to cleanse your Ball from like hacks and shit. So I don't necessarily know if Ball's going to be necessarily the best
tank. I think Ball
tank.
would be good if nothing else changed. I have to believe that they're going to change shit, right? Like I have to believe that they're going to give these tanks more health and damage.
No, I mean, well, you can see there, D.Va did a lot more. Like they're definitely changing stats. Like D.Va did a lot more damage mid-range now. She's a lot more mid-range, but the thing is, she's still a giant hitbox that can be hacked at any point, or like. So I feel like she needs a lot of flight to be able to escape like Mei and Sombra.
Some of the stuff that's going on with the tanks. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned.
What if we made it 0v0? Guys, Overwatch 2 is actually just a movie. There's no more video game. It's just a movie.
But the problem is though, if you give the tanks more health, like if you just flat buff tank health, right? Then you have to buff healer like output or throughput. And if you're buffing healer throughput, then you have to then you wind up having to up DPS. Like the tanks need to self-sustain. Like all the tanks need a way to keep themselves alive.
Million ants. Thank you for the tier 1, by the way.
That needs to be like the basis of the game. Is like it needs to take like a shitload of effort to kill these tanks.
Wait, is Super in here? Where's Super? We're saying Super. Where's he at? Huh? Where is he? You say something to me? I don't see him.
Because I feel like at a basic level, the game's gonna come down to: is your tank alive? Yes, winning. No losing.
Oh, he's joining the official broadcast? Whoa. Okay, guys, what do you think Super's gonna say, huh? What do you think Super's gonna say, huh?
What is he allowed to say?
What is Super allowed to say?
Is he allowed to just pop off?
What's he gonna say, huh? Like,
Super's gonna be like, well, you know, I have a big stream nowadays, so
yeah.
Post-career plans all set up.
There's way more pressure on tanks to perform. There was already that way. Tanks were already one of the most demanding roles in like your quick play experience.
No,
because
but that's why the play rate. I think it's gonna be harder to find games. Like it sounds stupid, but I think it's gonna be even harder.
Wait, they have replays of this game. Oh, okay, what are they doing? I don't want to see these slow mo.
They're gonna have.
Do you ever just drop your diva bomb in front of the aimbotting soldier that's nanoed and insta die, and then they both stand in front of the bomb and they both die to the bomb?
Have we had the tank funeral yet? Have I missed the tank funeral?
You're just in time, Trid.
I'm just in time for the tank funeral.
It's a long ceremony.
How are you feeling? How are you feeling?
Much better. Pretty much all on the mend. Just course of antibiotics. I'm gonna be good to go.
That's good.
What is going on in the YouTube chat?
Okay, I'll put Shred up then.
There you go. You're better.
Why is
making the cast for you? I don't know. I think this is good. I actually wanted Overwatch 2.5 when it came out, and I was actually weirded out there.
Yeah, I mean the thing is like there's definitely arguments to be made about how it improves stuff long term. It's just gonna be a shock in the short term pretty heavily.
Well, this was just a shitty. What's it called? Like experience, right? What's the word? Example. Experience. Like we didn't really watch anything cool. We watched essentially 5v5 Overwatch 1. On a new map. We didn't really like. There was nothing terribly Overwatch 2 about this.
Okay, I have to mute just to listen to Super.
How you doing, Super? Obviously,
I have to listen to Super.
I'd love to get some of your initial thoughts on it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, first of all. I mean, the tank changes, that's definitely the one that, kind of stuck out to me.
Oh, did it?
The fact that, only one tank is...
Did it stick out to you, huh?
And, my experience with tank, it goes up, it goes down. Sometimes you get bullied as a tank with two. So I'm curious to see how that's going to progress and change to make it so that it's a lot easier for one tank to be,
he's curious.
Work properly and not have as many struggles.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, this
he's
is something
curious
that I think
about that.
Any sort of tank player's stream right now, you can sort of see plenty of the ups and also some of the downs here. Obviously, we saw, maybe some more power being shifted in the direction of the tanks, right? And
Bold and brash is uncensored. Bold and brash is uncensored.
When you first saw the fact that Winston now has a bit of longer range equipment to bring to the fight.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit interesting. I also they grabbed the Zarya from the experimental. I mean, at least in my when I played the experimental, I thought that the cooldown needed to be shorter on that. But I like that in general they're trying to give more power if it's going to be just one tank. Because I feel like otherwise a lot of tanks
May and Winston Zarya ability updates
they would kind of struggle because the way they're designed right now, I feel like they weren't really.
Wait, the subtitles are hiding it. Subtitles are hiding it.
Played solo, if that makes sense. But now I feel like if they do the proper
Wait, let me go back.
I think it could actually be pretty good.
It doesn't freeze?
You saw there as well a couple of the changes.
It doesn't freeze now? Fought_TV, thank you for the tier 1.
A wider conversation.
Dude, it doesn't frease. Actually, good change. Actually, wait. Actually, good change. Wait, that's actually good. That's actually not a bad change.
Of these questions here.
That's actually not a bad change.
About Diva and
it doesn't fuck over the one tank as much anymore.
I want to take this opportunity to bring back in.
That's actually not bad.
Of course, the
lead designer. Thank you for the prime.
And Dion Rogers, our associate art director, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here. Of course, now you have a bona fide main tank player at the professional level in the room here, and
make it live.
Super, of course, a chance to share some of your thoughts. But gentlemen, overall, it definitely feels like the role
Comba
of
Sims, thank you for the prime.
Changes vastly
and
now
Yambolo,
in
thank
this
you for the tier 1.
Not only is it just one tank, but maybe some of the roles
champ, thank you for the prime.
or things you're expected to do in the game may have shifted.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I mean, it's sort of like, definitely in the past, it's somewhat true as well that you're definitely leading your team. But I think now you're doing kind of by yourself.
Dead eyes.
You can really sort of pace the game out, at least for your team, exactly how you want it to go. Which, so I think some people are sort of internally like, kind of worried about that pressure a little bit. Like, oh man, that's a lot of I have a lot of responsibility now. But I think as you start to play it, you just realize that, wow, I actually have a lot more tools to do this than before, though. I mean, I'm a lot stronger. I can actually survive these encounters a lot more, especially with healers both focusing on me now and everything. So it ends up just kind of being empowering and super fun when you get in there.
Oh yeah, it's empowering, all right.
Cancel Reinhardt charge and stuff, so you don't have to over.
Oh yeah, quite empowering.
Poke a little bit with Winston, so you don't have to overcommit with him either. So a lot more control.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Earlier I mentioned I used to be a Brian main as well.
Nice.
And these changes, so.
Wait, the cart blocked it? The fucking robot just
more choice and
halt.
tactical decisions you're making.
Just fucking stands there and blocks it.
It just feels fun and really good for the team.
I love that you sort of mentioned Reinhardt here as well, because I don't know if something that we maybe haven't covered at great depth so far, but because the role of the tank maybe changes, or maybe it becomes more focused now to some degree. You know, Reinhardt, obviously, we've known him to have a sort of a passive ability on live where he's less affected by some of this crowd control or knockback.
Super on stream, he still is on stream.
Talk a bit about role passives, because that's something that is, you know, is coming to Overwatch 2 and really sort of sets some of these roles apart from each other a bit more, Jeff.
Yeah, so this is a new thing coming to Overwatch 2. It's, for those that don't know, it's every role. So
Holy
tank,
shit!
DPS, and support get a
holy
passive
boop!
Or set of passives related to their role. So
that's actually really. I mean, I do like that tanks get booped less.
A couple things.
That's nice, but does it matter?
They're reduced.
Does it really matter though?
Reduction on them, so you can't
like you only have one tank,
easily, which thematically
so
makes
does it
sense too,
fucking matter?
If you're a tank player, you playing
at
against,
this point.
You know, Lucio and you know.
If there's only one tank, does it matter? No, I know they've talked about this before, but
all the time, not
that was in the context of there were still two tanks. But now we only have one tank.
The other thing they get that we've heard about tanks, especially tanks like Roadhog who don't have a barrier, is people feel like
auto help on
they
Ana. Okay.
The enemy team,
okay, I see. So they're making it so she's more resilient. What's Zin's passive?
Maybe you cancel charge and try to get hammer swings in there to build your ult.
What's Zin's passive? How does Zin live?
Is that a worthwhile trade-off if the enemy shot you so much that they built more ult than you did? So what we've done is
someone told me
shooting
Zin's
an enemy tank
bigger
less
feet.
For you, so your enemies get less ult for shooting you.
No footsteps. I see. He floats and has no footsteps.
Shooting, but you can kind of see it here a little bit.
Okay.
You know, depending on who you're shooting, you generate a lot less ult. And then for
dude, he sprints.
Players,
he just gets like if he's getting dope, he just fucking books it out. He just stands up and leaves.
The other ones is they get a movement speed bonus just across the board, which you can see here. You can see it's not like massive. It's not like everyone's gonna be soldiers sprinting around the map or anything. But we have found so far, like, I mean, players probably attest to this too. Like any kind of movement speed changes to anything.
Oh, I guess they're role passives, right?
Was considered
yeah, they're all role passives. Not
mandatory for so long.
Hero specific passives.
That's true. He's a lot more move speed.
So yeah, I guess they all get. I get all the supports get some healed in. They all get some passive heal.
It's really interesting in what allows you to do.
Super is literally fucking Pepe. He's literally Pepe W.
Easier and you don't have to commit as much time.
He's actually Pepe W.
To get back. But also, like,
look at him, dude.
Let's say you're like Reaper or something, and you commit your resources to get at an enemy Zenyatta or something, and he's trying to run around a corner just get away from you, and you know you could just catch him. I mean, give it a little bit of time, you'll just get up close to him and you know close that gap. So that's pretty powerful, even though it's
stick to the script, Matthew. Stick to the script, Matthew.
The support changes is this is probably something that Ana mains especially are gonna love to hear, but the support players all get automatic health regen after a certain amount of time of not taking damage, which is basically Mercy's passive.
Okay, so yeah, so Zen, yeah, that
right,
confirms
exactly.
it. So all the supports are just getting
Mercy's
extra
passive,
health regen.
A lot less of a degree, and Mercy's passive will still exist as like a much stronger version. But this is still there, so
that still doesn't make Zen that much better.
Like you're an auto player, you know. Obviously,
that still doesn't make Zen that much better because he doesn't have a nade.
Sometimes you're missing
or
like 50 health,
lamp.
and you're like, am I gonna waste my nade?
Like Zen still fucking kind of sucks.
The other healers in front of you as well, so like they have to turn around to see you.
Right. Exactly. So that's been really awesome, especially for us designing new heroes, because I feel like we're.
Zen already has regen, yeah, but I think they mean extra regen, okay, well, like besides just his health physically regenerating, like he gets like other regen on top of that, obviously.
Shoot yourself in the foot or whatever is always on a joke, but so now they have these sort of like we don't have to worry about that anymore unless we wanted to add something like in Mercy's case or even Zenyatta's case for shields. Shields regenerate on top of this. So
I found it interesting, Pepe W.
If your shields are regening. So
Pepe W, I found it interesting.
Still retain their sort of extra regeneration bonuses, but it's a lot nicer for Ana.
Now, of course, on the horizon, we're going to be showing more of our new
super
maps
right now.
Super. Something I noticed that kind of snuck past us here, some footage of May.
Huh?
So, because May seems like she's been.
Is the super gonna talk?
At least in terms of.
Is super gonna get to talk, man?
So this is actually kind of the tip of the iceberg and some changes I can talk about. But Mei was the first one we sort of checked into the build and wanted to play with for a long time. So
Mei doesn't freeze; she does more damage.
The enemy here at all.
And Winston can shoot.
But she doesn't never.
And Winston shoots a Glock.
Thank God.
Okay, there we go, Super. There we
Does a
go.
lot more damage. So it's it's
fair
really
enough.
scary
Finally,
getting hit by her because you're taking damage and you're slowed. But of course, there's a lot of ways to escape. You can have help and everything, but you never actually get in that lockdown state and be like, okay, well, here's the.
Super's afraid to say anything, guys.
And for her, it's really interesting too because
Super's just
she still has,
afraid.
at least right now,
If he says the wrong thing, he goes to the Blizzard Gulag.
Hit multiple targets. So and you're doing so much.
And if you say the wrong thing, you have to go. You have to stay in Blizzard political
all
prison
this extra damage because
for 10 years.
Kill people now by piercing through.
I do like the Mei change though. I don't mind this Mei change.
You can just pierce everybody. So it's kind of.
I think the Mei change is fine. The Winston change is all right. Like it doesn't change the narrative too much for me. But
it's kind of the tip of the iceberg.
I do like the Mei change. I think it's something they had to do if they only have one tank.
In this build. This is something we've been experimenting with. Hasn't quite been successful enough to quite put it in the buld yet. But this
unless you just die so fast that
generally looking at crowd control,
then it's really strong.
Where do we want it to be? Who should have it?
The flawed pyro.
Certainly, we've gotten feedback over time. We totally understand and respect. Like sometimes you're playing against the ultimate CC team with like Mei and I don't know McCree and whatever, and especially as a tank. I'm sure.
It's crazy to me that they didn't talk to any Overwatch players on this when the drops are basically on the line.
Oh my God, I hate
Is
my
that
life.
crazy to you? That's sort of been the relationship with Team 4 and Overwatch League for its existence.
Like just generally setting guidelines. Like okay, tanks should probably have CC. They're all about space control and.
Dude, he's just so afraid to say something. He's just Pepe Wing, and he's afraid. He's afraid to talk.
But should as many DPS heroes have CC as Mei? Maybe.
What the hell is Team 4? Team 4 is the designers for Overwatch. It's the devs. They're called Team 4 because they have different team name designations within Blizzard. So different teams work on different games, and Team 4 is the one that works on Overwatch.
But we're probably thinking that like Ana's pretty cool right now. People are generally pretty cool with her sleep. There's a skill shot element involved.
You can give me one
There's
more sleep
a lot of
if you want.
Just keep going. How about like a fan of sleep darts? It just kind of hits everybody. You're giving me cool talent ideas, actually. But
can you tell the devs to pause? I need to pee. Sure.
We're still playing. That one seems pretty cool. But like McCree, probably not so cool. Even though he's sort of like ingrained on McCree as his son. That's like what he's about. But it's like, okay, well, what if he didn't? What if he had something else? Or what if it worked a different way? Of course, that almost has as many ramifications as the tank.
Just keep smiling, guys. Just keep smiling.
Take all the CC
he's not even smiling.
Tracer, Doomfist,
he's just like
Wrecking Ball. These heroes are just like out of control now, right? Because like they're sort of heavily countered by CC. So then we got to go back and change those heroes, of course, as well as the compensation for CC heroes. So
that's killing me, man. His face is killing me. I have to get a screen cap of this.
So trying to, a lot of these changes, including the tank changes, are trying to get back to like,
I have to. His face is killing me.
We were at points we were wondering, like, is this game like a MOBA? Like, how important is that positioning, the tactical, the ability usage element? How important is the shooting element? It's not uncommon for for developers to say this game's all it's about the gunplay, but as the game evolves and you have these ideas and you bring these new abilities in, that it can sort of change that. Super. Usually, mate,
okay, here we go.
You to stop talking, but you've had a moment to absorb some of this. Let's talk about how you think the role of the main tank or tank in this regard is going to change in maybe an Overwatch 2, and sort of some of your thoughts about where this
dude, Uber always just roasts
How's
people.
How's it going to feel? You have a rock hard mental, dude. Like the way you sit on that stream and you just go. But tell us how you think this sort of changes.
Yeah. So that was kind of a big worry of mine, was like you say one tank, and then I'm thinking current Overwatch where you're playing against a Brig and then an Ana and then a McCree and a Mei, and then you're stun locked for 17 seconds, then you want to alt F4. But if they're if it is looking at the rest of the CC in the game, and you're looking to reduce that across the board, and then on top of that you're adding more utility to tanks, I think that's it's going to make it easier to do that, because I have felt that CC is kind of it's a little out there sometimes. It's not always the most fun to play against, and especially for me, I always felt that displacement CC was almost more egregious than like stuns, because like if you get booped by like
Super actually using his brain just a little bit,
or a ball that can like swing back and forth.
Super using his brain just a little bit out there. Okay.
Like annoying,
wait a minute.
And frustrating to play against.
Doing in between his paid statements, using his brain just a tad.
You kind of just got knocked everywhere, and that was just the way it was. Are those being like looked at as well as stuns? Or
well, I mean, didn't they already talk about that with the
tank
passives, right?
Yeah, definitely. But the nice thing is we have this new tuning knob of the tank passives. To
yeah,
say,
I was about to say they have the tank passives,
right?
right?
To be able to boop enemies off cliffs or something and still leave that.
But that
strong.
doesn't really count for the DPS.
We still
of the
think
support
tanks are being booped too much. We can just dial that like knockback reduction up a little bit for the tanks, so they're less affected by it. So it's a nice place
scripted talking point. Do you think they gave him the script, huh?
I mean, yeah, we're drilling down pretty heavily into like what it means to be a tank player, and I think talking about it is good.
Strawberry
But
pancakes,
I
thank you for the tier 1.
More of it in action. I mean, Dion, we have. I mean, I can see it here on the little preview screen. But
do you mean DPSCC in general though? Okay, they are.
Captures,
okay, I didn't catch that. I just know that they had the tank passive
of a region of the world that's really known for it. Talk to us through.
Yo, is that a Zamboni? That's probably not a Zamboni.
So Rio, another map we wanted to do for a long time.
Rio.
We have several artists on the team that spent a part of their life there.
That's a parade
it's
float.
Fun to kind of dive in and see this Overwatch version of Rio.
That's probably a float. Yeah, you guys are probably right.
Favelas, colorful.
Can't wait for this 6v6 experimental card.
The team loves going to Brazilian barbecue, so one of the spawn rooms is
6v6 experimental in Overwatch 2.
Another map. We're just having a lot of fun creating
That'll be funny.
different details and this aspirational version of this location for Overwatch 2.
All the contenders tanks are never gonna pro. Yeah, I mean, off tanks, tank players are getting fucking owned. Hey, Avast, come to Brazil. You know, they were thinking about hosting a contenders land in Brazil that I would have gone to if it happened.
Brazilian barbecue.
Because I would have casted the event, I think.
It's fun and sunny.
That was way before
COVID.
COVID
It's a
stuff.
map that
so
feels like Overwatch when you play it. You know.
Flop underscore. Thank you for the tier 1.
Vibrance that so many of Overwatch's maps have been credited for is there. Can you obviously I don't want you to give away too much of the story, but is there a context here, like where are the attackers starting from? Because I see some beach, I see different landscapes sort of getting fleshed out here.
Okay, I'm gonna
as we
unmute.
go through the map.
I don't think there's anything much more to do.
The defense actually starts in Lucio's home.
Okay, well we're back.
Yeah,
Super didn't really say too much.
That we want to tell.
Unsurprising.
Schultz 1280, thank you for the tier 1.
I'm ready to play.
I mean, he did tweet "Have fun next season" at 310, so there's that.
But we're not talking too heavily about it.
In third person.
Also, Lucio's club is always it's kind of a community place. If it was real, people can come there for free. He's a community guy.
Okay, wait. You want to hear the hot take of us?
Yeah, I'll hear a hot take.
Sci-fi club.
I think main tank players are actually should be more scared because off tank players are generally more flexible. If you're only going to pick one tank player, you'll probably take the off tank.
You know, I mean, I don't wholly disagree with that, but it's also the fact that I feel like Winston and Ball are going to be really good, and like our off tank player is going to be good at those too, though.
I mean, I think legit it's just back to square one from like trials. Like all these abilities got changed. Who's good at with like Winston, right? Like who's good at new Zarya? Like all those things change. Like whenever Overwatch 2 comes out.
Who's got the grit queue that's every day online?
Like my thing is, do alphas just start off rolling just to like get ready? You know what I mean? Like you just see fucking.
Oh wow, Super's actually asking. He's going off script.
I mean, we know so much about the game. I mean, as kind of Aaron touched on at the beginning, like.
I mean, he's Super going off script there, just a bit.
5 Winstons. In fact, we had an internal tournament where that was the strategy.
Actually, good question from Super.
It's sort of like, oh my god, this seems like maybe.
He essentially asked why. When did the philosophy change to where they thought 6v6 was no longer like their ideal roster for like heroes?
Once you
for like team sizes.
Wild to get in everybody else's hands and it marinates for a while.
Okay, this Winston,
like
no.
Opinion on the stuff definitely changes. So
this Winston, no.
A little too quirky.
Like it was touched on, we were still keeping an open mind to maybe doing some of these kind of changes, and then coming Overwatch 2, we were just like, let's revisit everything, and that was definitely one of the major criticisms of Overwatch.
Honestly, I do, yeah, I like that Mei doesn't freeze people anymore, because also that would be hellacious for the sole remaining tank, but...
Although,
you know, we still haven't seen Roadhog, man. I feel like Roadhog is like the quintessential one tank, right?
He's dead, dude. You only pick him. They need to start adding like synergistic buffs to these.
Yeah, Hog needs. I feel like tanks need to have like team buffs or like.
Yeah, you need like a buff. Yeah, exactly. You like pass it, like you put Hog in, everyone gets like 10% extra HP or something, and like his like heal thing heals everybody around him. Like that'd be sick.
I'm no stranger to Peacock. Look at what I'm wearing.
And then he gets like a 20% friendship bonus from Junkrat.
Friendship bonus. You build like a synergistic party. Oh, they're not ready yet? Okay. Apparently Roadhog isn't ready yet because they're still redesigning him. Do you think they're sending Roadhog to like he's doing like a
wait,
lab, you know?
Every time he takes a hit of the vape, he grows like 20% in size and up to 5 times.
If they radically change Roadhog,
every chance he takes a hit of the vape, there's a chance he has a mutation like in his body.
They just give Roadhog.
It's just like
Roadhog gets like the heavy boxing gloves and it gives him like a passive evasion Muhammad Ali thing like a butterfly belt. And so like he just randomly dodges bullets. Yeah, and then bullets just randomly miss him. Like he just has like random evasion.
I think it would be really. They need to get way more creative with the tanks. Like I think they need to like.
That's what I mean. You need to make them all just wildly broken. You need to make tanking feel so.
They're very like tight and.
That's what I was saying. If he inhales, it just kills everybody.
Okay, we'll mute again for a second. Vex, thank you for the 2-1.
Because you feel like you really only have like one way to go through, but I'm seeing at least in the other 2 maps that we looked at a lot more flanks and ways to access the point, and I think that's overall better for the design.
Actually,
I feel like when you, especially
good.
First, like going through that choke is kind of
good observation from Super.
It can be real not fun sometimes if you're just not clicking.
Good observation from Super.
A hard comp that you just can't counter, and I think it's just better overall.
Yeah, if we want to give players more options to solve a problem, say they're stuck.
Why don't they just put more chokes in Overwatch 1? Why not have more entrances in Overwatch 1? Why wait till there's only one tank?
Yeah, that's all.
Why are we adding more maps that have more entrances now?
Have to solve situations.
Are there going to be previous maps in Overwatch 1 that will be reworked?
Why?
Or...
we don't know yet.
Can you not say? Is that secret?
We don't know yet, huh?
I don't know.
We don't know yet. We don't know if we're going to make the maps good. For Overwatch, for the original Overwatch, huh? We don't know if we're gonna make the maps good, do we?
Your maps are much more labyrinthine, I guess, or just bigger, right? It's just a large, you know, there's so much more ground you could cover if you wanted to take a different approach. How do you sort of balance how big the map is, right? Because obviously there's a sense where, like, you know, if you go too far in one direction, right, it can seem quite barren. But here, like, everything, there's attention to detail everywhere, right? There's so many crisscrossing ways of approaching the point. So it doesn't feel big, but it definitely, as opposed to maps we saw in Overwatch on live right now, it definitely feels bigger, right?
I mean, right now this ball is doing a lot, but why is Team 2 not playing Sombra? This is my question.
Yeah, it's definitely more detailed than before, and again, the more options, there's more passageways and buildings for players to
new shield color, I did see that. I mean, like, there's a lot of graphical UI updates.
Ultimately, the maps are in a fairly similar size to the previous. You're just seeing a lot more detail out of them.
There's a lot of small graphical updates that look, I mean, they look nice. Like, if there's one thing you could say about Blizzard is that the game never looks like unpolished, right?
It's something we're constantly.
That's the one thing you can't say. You can say a lot of other things, but you can't say about the polish.
Visually as well as gameplay wise.
This really has like a Dorado feel, almost, right? We have sort of payloads sort of moving through underneath. And
there's a hero ban system. I feel like a hero ban system makes even less sense now that there's one tank.
I guess, to sort of make use of
because like their synergies are going to be worse potentially, but I mean, or maybe it makes more sense, I guess.
There's so much going on here.
Maybe it makes even more sense.
I love this point in particular.
Perhaps.
Like taking that middle high ground is, you know, really important. If you can hold it, it's fantastic, but it's just really hard to hold because you have all these upper flank routes and under flank
God, what a
routes
fucking shit show, man.
It ends up being like kind of a gambit to try to even take it.
Yeah, it actually is like a lot Dorado last, honestly. You have that middle high ground on the point, though it's accessible from multiple angles, though. You have like the under area, you have another high ground overlooking, like it sort of is like Dorado last.
Is Universal ult
this is Rio.
nerfed, or is it just as a result of the tank changes that it seems like people are getting their ult slower?
It's mostly just the tanks, and we don't have. They're probably. I can't remember exactly all the individual changes, but I think we probably adjusted a few heroes here and there. May have gone up or down on their costs, but it's almost.
I mean, like, I can already see. I'm envisioning here, though. Like I said, I'm open to the idea. I'm open to the idea, right,
looking at Widow,
but I could already see. I look at this in pro play, and it's gonna be a shit show. It's gonna be like so fast. People already like talk about how Overwatch is like hard to keep up with, I think at times, but I feel like it's gonna be like these fights are gonna be insanely fast, you know? Like every fight is gonna be decided from like a really early pick or two, because there won't be real team fights, because like you're getting less ult charge, it's being a lot more ult neutral, and it's a lot more DPS centric. I feel like it's gonna be just like insanely fast.
So, yeah, just yet another thing we gotta keep an eye on. With
Mordicus69, thank you for the prime and the Borpa, the Borpa spin.
We talk about how sort of tanks have changed now to sort of allow them to be more multi-purpose or sort of fill a broader spectrum of roles. Obviously, like
Overwatch being less Overwatch based sounds great. TVH. See, I mean, like there could be some pros. I think there are some pros. I think there's some logistical pros in particular as we move on down the line, and like for the casual base of like waiting less potentially for queue times. I'm just really. Wait, that's Roadhog. Wait a minute. That's Roadhog. Wait a minute. That's Roadhog right there. You guys lied to me.
Has it changed the way you think about how tanks create space?
What do you think this will do to meta diversity? I feel like this is going to be insanely one-sided metas. I don't see any universe at all why you would ever play characters like Reaper again, or Junkrat. Why would you ever play Junkrat or Reaper again? I feel like you would just play Dive or Long Range Hit Scan, you know?
Certainly,
I don't see any reason why you would ever want to play heroes like that,
not being played
essentially.
Because we're looking at her really heavily.
I could maybe see Mei still being all right,
really kind of
but
heavy static slow defense are the ones we're kind of trying to hit the hardest first, and then just that alone already makes Roadhog
Terry Goob, thank you for the prime Borpa spin. And also I see Widow being exceptionally strong. I see Widow being exceptionally strong on map, especially even this map. Look at the sight lines, man. But like you probably just play Dive, but I see Widow being very strong. But also there's one less tank to peel for the Widow, but
especially in regards to cooldowns. So like Roadhog used to have a much faster hook way back in the day.
Is there not res? Oh, they use res.
Especially
Okay.
in a world where all the tanks are pretty aggressive, so doesn't feel
They
like
use the res. I see.
We still want to make sure there's enough like counter.
Oh boy, this Roadhog.
The hook, and then we had
this Roadhog.
attack and just hooked again right afterwards. So it's certainly a balancing act. But
why are they? They're on Sim 2 here. Interesting.
Sort of tankiness can be just in the hero themselves now, because if you get to go in and be threatening.
Give us back the group. Okay, I'll give you back the group.
Hard to kill.
Oh, he lived. Okay, hey, Roadhog's in, guys. Roadhog's in.
If you pick DPS, your HP just goes down by half.
I'm just watching Roadhog currently, and I feel like he's just. Why are they not shooting him? Why are they not shooting him?
Well, he also is just normal. He's only
also, yeah, what did they change about Roadhog?
Yeah, I don't know what they've changed about Roadhog, honestly.
He does not look buffed in the slightest.
Yeah,
he looks nerfed.
well, I feel
now
like
he doesn't have a tank to
fucking
stand behind. I don't know.
It's kind of based off of the fact of what
really
your
shown here, but
second tank is doing, which is obviously no longer a thing because
they pick explain. Multiple hooks on one.
Really gonna have to
People are saying they still this is still an unchanged Roadhog. Like this is not changed.
They pick Roadhog, you pick Zarya. What
Why are they showing us the unchanged version?
This is a raw hog.
A raw hog. Yeah. He is unfinished. For Orbital, thank you for the 14 months of the prime. I appreciate that.
I feel like that's probably gonna have to.
Right.
Well, actually,
a lot more. Tanks are gonna have to play a lot more, I guess. Assertive, because they can't really rely on their other tank to
No, I don't mean relevant. I mean like the tank v tank matchup becomes a lot.
Oh my god, they're so sad.
I feel like
imagine you pick Roadhog and your team goes Zarya. Like what do? Like you just lose. You just have to switch, right? Like you can't play your character anymore.
Oh my god, Zarya. Oh
Oh, you think he'll like switch to DP? I mean, I think he'll switch your tank.
Hog just acts like the killer from Dead by Daylight. He'll hook people and then like actually put them up.
He spawns a meat hook in the back of the map. You can drag the body all the way back to it. Your team, you can't revive until your team comes to res you. That's what we need in this thing.
I think that's probably a design philosophy.
Yeah.
That I'm
Permanent unbreakable CC. That
Oh, good. They've gone Rhine. This will surely break it, right? This will break the hold, surely. Is they've gone Rhine.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's like we're talking about with just options.
I mean, it did break the hole.
I mean, it broke the hole, but I feel like it's more because Frosty Feet their Pharaoh finally got kills. I feel like Frosty Feet finally got 2 kills because they had no hit scan.
It happens to be she also generates a crap lot more energy and is way scarier, does more damage in this case. We may have to rein that in a little bit. She was already running out on that last
Frosty woke up.
There with like 80%.
No longer Frosty.
So you can see it's pretty aggressive. But
wait, where did Frosty go?
Yeah, it's
Frosty, please. I'm watching my Pharaoh feed when there's no hit scan on the enemy team. There's no hit scan on the enemy team and they're feeding.
I think that's where a lot of people kind of like to have tanks exist, where it's
trying to
really want to just
Bison OW, they give him the prime.
I see Hog still throw pick in the 5v5 mode.
Out there or anything like that, because
continues to be a massive throw pick.
Dude, imagine playing Ryan on this point.
Like I was mentioning with the crowd.
Like imagine versus like good players where they're playing like this is gonna be hell. It's fucking Ryan's Fallujah over here. Like look at this shit, man. There's no way you could play Reinhardt against good players. There's no way.
It's just Avast does not believe you can play Reinhardt in the favelas.
Have we spoken about how stupid and redundant Roadhog is because Honor exists? There is nothing to soak the anti-nade. There is nothing to get rid of it. There is nothing to block it.
These tanks are unfinished. Like they need.
I know, but like
they just. These tanks
oh my god, he's so sad. He's so sad.
Every tank needs a blade mail.
5 different forms that come in. So it feels like almost
honestly, I felt like
they
got creative with the 5v5 change, but they didn't get creative with the character.
Overwatch 2 is 5v5. Yes, correct. Correct.
To a point where you're looking for to counter something specific.
Like if you're gonna make it, if they're doing 5v5, they need to make tank like cool to play.
Dude, you ever just drop 3 ults to go for a single res?
Really big game changer.
Oh my eyes.
Conversely,
like, but look at this, like this map in particular, like you are literally like there's insurgents on every roof, fucking firing down. You're over there, like you're in the Humvee, fucking driving around through the streets. You're like, holy shit, like there's no way, there's no fucking way. There's RPGs flying. There's absolutely no fucking way.
They're also playing Ryan without a Lucio. They're no speed Reinhardt into corners and stuff.
Also.
Anarchy OW, thank you for the prime.
Yeah. even with sort of less knockback Ryan obviously being as close as he was to the whole.
I feel like attack on pillow maps just became so
I still remember it was almost like a tooltip text loading into game playing Overwatch. It sort of said like listen out for footsteps, like the heavier footsteps.
People are just like, we don't want to see Widow. Well, if you make a map like this,
but it definitely feels like
I mean, this is I wouldn't even play. This would be like Ash Mercy high ground, just dropping dynamite.
Hanzo's pretty good here too because of the high ground. Like Hanzo's fine here.
Extremely meaty.
I love this. If you could drop in their tank DPS for support move, tank is just terrific. Yeah, I mean, it's a sad time.
They need to make Sombra be able to push the cart while
Widow, yeah, Widow's so great. The sort of the echoing sound.
Did you see Hawk's tweet?
Yeah, I did not. I've seen some of the tweets from the tank players that are very upset.
Hawk is going after because
Hawk's tweet actually pretty fucking funny. He said, "I hope they change the casting to only one caster because there's less action on the."
What people don't understand is that when you had Jake solo cast last year, that was actually intentional. That was just
that was testing.
Dude, I mean, to be fair, that's exactly like that's. I feel like I totally understand where he's coming from because like they kind of did just take his fucking job. They kind of did just take his fucking job, man.
That's a big part of it as well. Like it's not just when you fire, but getting hit by these weapons and these abilities.
We didn't make the change.
Seems like it.
Oh my god,
it has more of an impact.
John tweet.
Goople, thank you for the prime.
What did John say?
Wait, a bad Patchy Mari tweet in this timeline? Let's see it. In current year, bad Patchy Mari?
Much more visceral experience, right?
I gotta check this one out.
Oh yeah, I mean it adds so much. I mean, there's so much done to.
Oh god, he did the fucking.
I mean, I'm
Overwatch too early.
Want to
play Overwatch too early?
Given the ability to create more accurate sounds.
Yo, BP.
In certain spaces.
You want to play Overwatch too early?
Tighter area, indoor, wider.
Play Overwatch too early?
Sound. Get that sort of sound of things bouncing off the walls and.
Okay, this is kind of a banger.
Not only is it the game feel a lot better as far as like the weapons and getting shot at, but like it actually makes the environment feel a lot better.
I would say Overwatch
like
right
actually
now,
in that space,
like normal
just the
Overwatch,
way
it's a pretty good
all the
spot
sounds are playing in that
right?
space.
Like the meta's not too
The
bad.
immersion of the environment too. It's just the sounds of the environment. is.
Kind of are.
Is that fair? Right now?
Nobody complains about bullshit on Twitter. Nobody.
Right now. I mean, like right now, is the game in its worst state?
The game is relatively balanced currently.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's my point. And
Yes.
It took us like what, 4 years, 5 years to get there?
Naturally, you know,
like
these are changes.
that's a long ass time, and this is literally a hard reset. This isn't like oh we have to do it. This is 100%.
Oh my god, that is a fucking tweet.
I think that's the scary part.
Honestly, we need to return. We need to get the beta feeling back. You know, with Overwatch 2. Like, remember when Overwatch beta came out and everything was like uber imbalanced? Like, we need that. We need that feeling again.
We got the John tweet in group chat as well.
A lot more pressure, I feel like, or a lot more of a role.
Fucking hell, Leon tweet.
You don't really have that second.
Oh my god, there's some bangers coming out. There's some bangers coming out right now.
You get hooked, you get a bubble or matrix.
Oh, a Seagull tweet?
So I feel like in general, it looks like tanks are going to play.
Let's see what Seagull's got.
But you do get the plus side of having both supports only focus on you as opposed to having two. So I think it'll be interesting.
Well, we're interested to hear some of your thoughts, of course, as the live stream goes, and as we get further and further down.
How many eggplants do we need to send to Wait, Jeff's not there anymore. Fuck.
Jeff's not there. You can't do it anymore.
Who do we send the eggplants to? Who do we send the eggplants to get six players back, huh?
Evil shoot me, thank you for the tier 1. So Super just came on there to say like, oh, you know, I find this really interesting. Then now he's gone. And he Pepe W'd the entire time.
Feel like shit, just one.
Feel like shit. Just want my tank, just my off tank player back to peel for me, please.
On how it feels for him to see these tank changes, I want to now take the opportunity to welcome to.
No, yeah, he did actually have some good questions. I will admit, he definitely, but they were all still like, he obviously didn't want to go too hard. So I understand that.
Yeah.
He's got no
stake in the game. On what we have so far.
If I had to bet money, do you think 5e change would be worse or better for the game? Honestly, I don't. I legitimately don't even know where I'm gonna go with this.
No, it's gonna be better, but it's literally gonna take.
Well, it's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be better long term, but it's gonna be shit for the first like year, you know?
The thing is, when it's shit, it doesn't matter because you just get to play.
Okay.
Dragonstein's Revenge.
You think if the one tank system planks, would they ever consider
bringing it back?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's why they have the Overwatch 2 experimental card for 6v6.
Overwatch League is the DLC. It's the expansion pack.
I don't think so.
Great thoughts so far.
I don't. This is like you literally have to rework all the characters. Like,
well, I mean, and then also you're literally demolishing the competitive community because half, like, all the off tank players or like the main tank players are have to be like, what the fuck am I gonna do? You know? So it's. I feel like long term it's better logistically and potentially for the game as a whole and like at a casual level, but like it's just gonna suck ass for the correction, like short term. You know? I mean, but I'm not sure. I could be totally wrong. It could just be disastrous because I don't like how the game. I didn't really particularly like. I'm just open to the idea of how the game looks like.
I am personally, obviously, not confident in their ability to balance.
So,
quickly, or like,
I'll see. If 5v5 doesn't work, they'll try 4v4. Yeah, we go 4v4.
The 1-1-2.
4v4 and then do just COD TDM.
Yeah.
Remove all game modes apart from TDM.
It's 4v4, but they actually replenish one of the tank slots, so it's 2 tanks, 1 DPS.
Wait, actually, they can just do Overwatch Classic. They can just release Overwatch Classic. Of course. Overwatch Remastered and Overwatch 2.
Classic. And it'll cost us $35.99 to transfer our characters from Overwatch 2 back to Overwatch 1. Oh my god, this is so smart.
Is somebody playing TBC Classic right now? Fuck off.
Yes, how much
I mean, it's not really TBC Classic yet until...
Imagine a more sturdy and buff Orisa, yeah. What if they add like 20 new teams to Overwatch League? Problem solved. Oh my god, that's so smart. Just add 20 more teams. Just add 20 more teams. Just do it.
It'll launch as it did on launch. We'll just have like
just do that, huh?
I think we'll sort of mention that there's sort of new tech available to developers.
I missed the overarching conversation. What's like the TLDR
of what?
Opinions, I guess.
No one is that happy with them.
Solo casting now because
5v5 good,
really cool
balance bad.
Upgrades that you could see in some of
We're not particularly. I am open to seeing how it works out. I think there are some pros, but I am currently not super excited with the direction. But I am open to the idea.
I think. I really like the change personally, just from like the straight up perspective of 5v5 and Overwatch.
more
I
dynamic,
like it a lot.
more animated things in the world.
Yeah, we
obviously
make
like
your
it
job
sucks.
easier. We get it.
No, I mean it has nothing to do with my job. That's the things like people. I know, but like there's been people who are like incessantly tweeting about like the casters and like copium and all of this bullshit. But like it has nothing to do with the job. I'm just speaking straight up for like me liking the game.
I mean, I think on a conceptual level, 5v5 is great.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think looking at what we just saw, I'm like
and,
scared
just
again.
the
I mean, but I'm
heroes
always
themselves.
scared. Like, whatever.
I mean, like, it's just one of those things where, like you have to see what happens. Like, yeah, maybe it just fucking sucks. I don't know. It might. But I love the idea of going into that direction. Like it sucks for the esport, but this is the fucking game
I don't know if
that's
it's such
played by.
I just think like the balance.
I mean, I mean, it sucks for
PvP
the
might be
esport.
dead. PvP is gonna be dead depending on how good the balance is on launch. And I think that's the scary part because the PvE is really good. And
Brad hates it. It's a good idea. Confirmed. Oh yeah, that's a pretty good one. You got me there. That's pretty funny to me.
When I say like it
yeah,
sucks for the esport,
I know it's funny to me.
For like any player.
Yeah, I mean, to me.
Like I get that. My heart
yeah, I don't know.
That's
we'll see.
Definitely a predicament, and I understand it. But for like the game design, I think it's good.
Or the older skins. So a lot of stuff looks.
I'm not sure myself with where the current, but I feel like they could correct it to be good. But the correction is going to be brutal because we're going to have half of the tank players out of a job. No, well it is because like I don't currently like when you're watching those maps, Seth. I literally don't see how Reinhardt is ever played. I literally can't. You cannot tell me an instance where I would think that Reinhardt is ever going to be played ever. I just don't see it.
I think that's fine though. Like Gibraltar, you don't play Ryan.
But no, it's not even about Gibraltar. It's not about certain maps. Like it's like literally every map. Like it's better to be mobile. It's better to be mobile, right?
Yeah, so you're agreeing. It's like the 5v5 is good, but they literally have to make tanks so
everything will have to change.
Broken.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
tanks have to be like fast. They have to like have a movement. They have to have like DR. They have to have some ability to like keep themselves up. Like if tanking isn't
Rush dead. Give Ryan a jetpack. Giving Ryan a jetpack could actually solve that. No joke.
Everything revolves around me. I am the king of this server. Like if that's not the feeling that you get when you pick that role, it's like it's over.
Tank has to feel incredible to play.
But I feel like that's kind of where they want to take it anyway, just given
the
player base of
I'm just
tank
saying,
being
but that's
so
not what we
lacking.
saw today. But that's not what we saw.
I didn't see. Yeah, I was like, tanks look like shit.
I think one tank may be bad for Goat's comp.
Let him charge vertically, but like
yeah.
But like that's actually what needs to happen. Like he needs to like get high ground.
Or
right?
give him like fucking Baptiste jump boost.
Yo,
like,
Torb looks like a Chad.
Shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Torb is Chad though.
I don't know.
Because you're gonna run to the problem. Like, there's only one tank. There's much more pressure. If you make him, like, if you don't add pros,
like King's Row phase type of thing.
Like, it's gonna be the same thing.
That only works if there's not a lot of high ground. If there's a lot of high ground, Ryan will be bad. Like in that Rio map, Ryan is still not going to be good. But like if it's a King's Row type map with less high ground and narrow streets, then yeah, sure.
Yeah, you have ways to be like you have ways to be self-reliant.
They need to feel like a raid boss.
They need to have modularized tanking and make everyone feel like they have the ability.
But I think that's kind of where they want to take it to, because like like nobody fucking queues is playing tank really. Like that's why you always, if you want to queue tank, you get in for. Well, that's just like if you want to queue tank, like it's a 2-minute wait, or less, because there's just not that many people. But if you can make it feel like you go in, you just start fucking big dicking on everybody, then suddenly it's gonna swing in the opposite direction. Everyone's gonna be like, holy shit, I want to play tank.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then you get mopped by the enemy tank, and then it becomes really toxic. Like that's a.
Oh, because Overwatch isn't toxic already.
I mean, there's always.
Well, the game is in such a poor state.
John tweet? Oh, do I want to look at a John tweet?
Fast pass at Disneyland to get people to play tank. Like to shoot at it. This could just make it worse. Is my point.
I mean, now you have one person to blame for all your issues.
One person to blame.
Thank God for that. I can now direct my hatred towards another human being to one person rather than two.
Yeah.
Well, this would also. Because if we have that,
we need a leaderboard
argument
or like
of fucking tank did nothing, like it cuts down on that significantly.
But the tank is gonna dictate the outcome of the match, or it should, right? Like in this new system, your tank should have like a majority of the influence on the outcome.
Well, you say
to a certain degree.
Yeah, you say that.
Oh, what is this map? Is this Rome?
Rome?
Oh,
Roma?
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 They got
That
that
looks kinda
gladiator
nice.
Doomfist on this? Or
Dude, I
what?
hope the Coliseum floods with water like the Coliseum of old, where they'd flood it with water and have naval fights.
And ships?
I hope there's naval battles in Rome.
Oh, right, okay.
I hope a lion comes out of a
What about what about chariot like races, huh? A little chariot race in the middle.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah, but instead of chariot races, it's just the push robots, and whoever can push it around the circle fast.
And what if they had an arena in there, like an actual 1v1 arena? You know?
Yeah, what if randomly during the fight 2 players get pulled out of the arena into a different match and they have to kill each other and the winner gets a damage buff?
Dude, imagine if they released a game mode called Pirate Ship. That's what they could. Dude, I could literally write this for them. They could make Pirate Ship game mode for Overwatch 2, and then you're forced to play the Pirate Ship comp on a ship in Rome in the Coliseum, right? But I could be. Why am I not on the dev team? Why am I not on the dev team? Why am I not? Why am I not making content right now?
I can see the custom game modes right now, dude. Just a bunch of Hanzos, just
it's just ammo mod
on a boat.
Just take a bunch of bastions and combine them to make them look like a pirate ship.
Yeah, Hanzos and Torbs on a boat.
That's the Torb Diva synergy.
This is Super W.
You can attach turrets to the back of Diva if you're playing Torbjorn and command them from the back.
Of the scene plus pushing the robot kind of enhances how fun this game type is.
I do like that a little bit.
Between all the sci-fi movies that you might watch, and then a location that is obviously known to us, and sort of thinking about.
Well, are we gonna get any other news, or is this like kind of the end of it? You know.
The news is Roadhog still has 600 HP and a vape.
I mean, I have no information for you, dude. I am a
I do want to know.
We got a beta. When's the beta? I want announcements. I want dates.
So I'm curious to know, like, how much is our Overwatch League a
That's
factor
when.
when you're sort of considering?
Wait, this is an important question. How much is Overwatch League a factor?
Oh, like how the players could break this, or you know,
What,
they
zero?
sort of, you know, go for the 1%.
How do you measure?
Does that
How do you
factor
measure
into
something that
their
does not
process
exist?
all that much?
Yeah.
I think yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, huh?
Yeah, I mean they. Certainly, I feel like it's hard to imagine a player base sort of breaking a map apart probably as much as the Overwatch teams, Overwatch League teams do, and they will find that stuff fast and abuse even the smallest things. So yeah, I mean, we definitely, as far as like the specific layout, we're looking at all that stuff quite a bit, but especially when we're developing a new mode. It's very much taken into account how competitive it's going to be, and as brought up earlier, you know, based on the rule set, we want to make sure if we can avoid it, we want to avoid any kind of tie situation. Sure. This mode certainly prevents that. And then, as Aaron was talking about earlier, like we were debating whether or not this should be like kind of easy to push to the end, and then you know you get a point, and then the other team can, you know, maybe it's multiple rounds, and each push is 1 point.
I just heard essentially no, we
weren't. Potential tie situation.
Egotistical thinking of the J1.
You lose some of that sort of epic tension of pushing it those last little bits and people fighting over those little bits of space.
Oh, the epic tension! The epic tension! It's like one of the off-take players. There's this epic tension. Are they going to have a job? It's the epic tension there.
So many matches that came
so much
down
epic
to 2-3
tension.
meters. This is such a fun. Just you feel good even losing. You know, you're like that was a great battle because it felt like we fought really hard for those last 2-3 meters.
Well, this was not a very good dodge.
I like that.
Okay, well, that was not a good dodge. That
We got him, boys!
that was not a good dodge there.
Wow, this is an incredible.
Beautiful.
Like.
Avast, the ZP just baited himself like 8 times.
Oh, I wasn't there, so.
I know. ZP was like, I'm gonna say something, but on the off chance that Avast unmutes, I'm not gonna say it. And then we're like, you should say it anyway. And they said it literally as you unmuted.
And then there's this great. That was not fun to encounter. I think.
Anyways, Avast, what we miss?
I mean, I was just wanting to listen to Uber's question, and essentially they were just like dodged.
Yeah, they dodged super.
They were just like dodged.
They're like, when did the philosophy change? And then the guy
just blinked away, huh?
About how
they
Overwatch
just blinked
changed.
away. Did a little recall. Back to the next question.
If you recalled, did you ask a question?
You know,
exactly.
We're going to Valorant.
Looks sort of simple.
Can't wait to see Super play smokes for C9 in 9 months. Yep. Super goes to play controller for C9 Valorant. There he goes.
Amazing, and you can see certain of these are blocked off.
Definitely.
Open, as far as in between the pillars. And that was actually iterated on quite a bit. I remember opening them up, closing them. In fact, you see the tops are actually open.
You know, wow, look at this Junkrat gameplay. Luckily, there's some bubbles for him, so we can leave. That's always nice. That's always nice.
So that one section.
I also like how they have the placeholder where it's Hanzo's scatter arrow as the icon.
Yeah, as the icon.
Wait, you run
It's a rail gun, not a scatter arrow.
You run
Okay.
Zarya, Doomfist, and Genji. You just double.
I mean, yeah, you probably could, and it would be fucking insane.
It'd be
They
sick.
should 100% turn his gun into an LG. Just turn it into an LG. The right click's just an LG.
What if we changed every gun into an LG, and then you could take red armor, and then also it became Quake?
Yes. There should be armor packs around the map that you can pick up, and then you can.
And then they got a rocket
quad
launcher.
Damage, a thing that you can pick up, and it gives you quad damage, and then you can just beam people for instant, and then turn everything into 1v1. Oh my god.
What about the friendship?
Flash
buff?
streaming right now?
Where your friendship buff
ammunition.
to your idea here, buddy?
Where can I build synergistic parties? Can I get an armor set bonus?
I really just want the Roadhog Junkrat friendship buff.
Well, you could do like the Talon team too, and get Talon buff.
Yeah.
Honestly, when's the Overwatch 2 Battle Royale mode coming out?
Honestly, where is the Overwatch 2 Battle Royale? Well, they've already done the Battle Royale. I mean, they've already had one team eliminated, the off tanks. They've already lost the Battle Royale. They've already lost the Battle Royale.
The main team's achieved the victory royale already, alright?
If we had the fucking gulag to the roadmap, that's the battle royale right there.
Yeah, that's sick.
You know.
That's how tiebreaking
Oh!
works in this new mode. You just send one. It's trial by combat. You send one representative from each team.
Like, I would love to see with Anna having it show like who.
Kind of added, they already added in the gulag, man. I'm just saying. If you think about it, they already added gulag.
That would be so cool.
Also, you know, I haven't been able to tell, how did the spawns work and push? Like, do we still have a central spawn point?
Oh, they update.
They update as they go on, because also that's the other thing too, is I could see the need for like swapping your comps a lot potentially. Like if you're getting counter comped, I'm like, well, how do the spawns here?
Yo, that robot going quick. What the hell?
He do be walking.
Because imagine your Reinhardt dies, right, and then he gets forward spawn.
Uh-huh.
Your only tank.
He just dies again?
He just dies again.
You as a player get indication if Mercy is healing or damage boosting you.
What is this?
Your screen sort of
Should give Ryan like a fucking.
How you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand. They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine. You just can't get into it because they would.
Ryan just sledgehammers through fucking walls to get at you.
A jar of peanut butter that you slam on the ground, and if it hits people, they can't move because they get surrounded by peanut butter.
But in general, there's like.
I love the new sound design, by the way, though.
Sound design is nice. Sound design's cool. Yeah, that's all cool, you know.
Copium.
The hero design, though, guys. The hero design, though.
Yo, these noises are fucking nice. Yo, these noises.
Guys, the map is beautiful. Am I right, guys?
What are you?
Yo, you guys hear that ambient noise? That fucking shit's cool.
Unbelievable. I say one. It's like Twitter, bro. I say one.
There's no win in here because Flame's here and he's gonna egg on everything. He's gonna egg on everything, dude. You can't win.
I wasn't the one who started that. Someone else.
No.
I'm taking this fucking album, bro.
The UI Albert, I just said copium. I just said copium.
Thank God they had a good sound design, bro. Then we can remove.
Excuse me, Zenyatta? Hello? Shadowstorm? Shadowstorm? Hello? Maybe a little lost.
Most of the people who really follow the game closely are aware. We've.
What's that character in Valorant that like you like shoot through walls and put smoke bombs?
A lot of people had a lot of concerns with it, and we tried to make a lot of changes to it. In fact,
what fucking Breach? Not Breach.
We've gone through multiple.
Omen.
Omen.
Heavy overhaul of it, but none of them ever really good enough to go into experimental.
I never heard of that character.
Actual dude, actually that is true. Trance is fucking. Is that how Zen lives? Zen gets transcendence and blinds your team, the enemy team. He pops Q and flashbangs them with Q.
It's the My Eyes debuff.
The My Eyes debuff.
Wait, honestly, tanks? What if every tank had a smoke they could throw down?
That would be sick.
That would be cool, I guess.
But
the
like
in WoW.
Tank.
No, like in WoW, what's the rogue have? It's like is it smoke? Yeah, smoke bomb.
Yeah.
Where, like you just have 100% evasion in the smoke bomb.
It'd help them like sustain, and you could do like cool stuff with it.
Well, that's what you do with Roadhog. You turn his vape into a smoke bomb.
Oh,
he just starts
evasive maneuvers.
He just farts up a poisonous cloud, and then just walks away.
He becomes like a fucking boomer from.
Yeah, D.Va does have crazy damage. Now the thing is, oh my grav. Oh my Graviton. D.Va does have crazy damage, but it doesn't matter because she's D.Va and she just gets shot. She just gets shot and she dies. So.
Is there any tank that you want to solo tank into Sombra with?
So Winston.
Winston's decent.
Winston's fine. I think you could maybe make Zarya work. Yeah, Zarya's okay. Orisa potentially, or Sigma. Orisa or Sigma maybe.
Sigma seems ass.
Yeah, I don't know how Sigma's gonna. Well, I mean, considering that Sigma doesn't get frozen, like there's no freeze anymore. Like, I don't know if any of Sigma's like. If he gets any benefit now.
But they just like removed freeze.
Reinhardt's also not bad to play in a Sombra because you can just tilt your shit.
That's true, but then you're still playing Rein, and then like depending on the rest of the comp, you're getting fucked, right? So.
Do you reckon they'll add something to mitigate like the beam damage for D.Va? She just sits there and does nothing.
I don't know. I mean, she does do a lot. I mean, D.Va does kind of like, it seems like she annihilates, like if you don't have a Mercy pocket, it seems like she fucking annihilates DPS now. Seems D.Va actually fucking annihilates them. But then I feel like if you're ever going to run into a situation where the enemy team's playing D.Va, you just play Sombra and permahacker, right?
Yeah.
So.
Or make tank like really cerebral to play. Like maybe they have a talent tree, you know?
Yeah, they have an RPG. They have like an RPG here.
You build your own tank. Well, not level, but you build your own tank, you know?
No, just do it like
fucking Transcendence. Jesus Christ.
Let's just make
do it
all
like
the
Heroes of the
Warcraft.
Storm, dude.
Dude, it actually is so bright. It's a fucking solar flare.
It's a solar flare.
Just popping up.
My eyes.
You know what? They should definitely add blinds to Overwatch. I've always thought about this. They should just add blinds so you can just throw them at the DPS that are flanking, so they just can't see.
Also, I really hope that like if D.Va's demeched right, imagine if the robot like steps on her and it kills the demeched D.Va. Imagine if that was a feature.
Why do they have any experiment with an Overwatch that they could give to DPS to almost add a tank-esque element? Is that there's no real like smoke grenade type. Yeah, they should add blinds. They should add.
That's a sick idea, yo.
Yeah, you know what they should do too? They should add Molotovs. They should also add a buy menu.
Oh yeah, you can buy. Yeah.
Eventually change things into a one life, a poly-based system, and then what you can do, you can add only headshots. So basically, what happens? Soldier becomes OP because he can just fire and headshot people instantly.
What if they make it? What if they make it a BR and it's the anti-Apex? Like
the memes aside, though, you could add a smoke grenade type mechanic to the game.
But would a smoke grenade even be good in Overwatch 2? Because the maps are fucking humongous, and you have like Tracer and shit. How would a smoke grenade even be good? You know? Like if everyone, like in that case, it's not a smoke grenade, it's a smoke nuke. You have a smoke nuke that covers the whole fucking thing. You explode a volcano, Mount Vesuvius erupts and covers everything in ash. Like that's gonna be our smoke grenade.
I got one.
Crack a toe, dude.
You put it down on the ground, and then people like they have to walk into it. But when they walk into it, they take like some damage. Like you can go out like decay or something.
So fucking smart.
And then as long as the person who puts the smoke down stays in it, then it just stays there forever.
Yo, what if they added? What's the character in Apex?
They should call the character Viper.
Is it caustic?
No, Cobra.
We need caustic. We need caustic, dude. We need caustic.
Caustic.
Yeah, we need caustic
inside.
We need caustic, and you shut down the room. You pick a room and you just bunker up in there.
I still think they need a buff. They need to add a where you can just yeet one of your teammates into someone.
Yeah. It's just a slingshot.
We need anyone with the hook.
We need tiny toss.
Wait, so like a Trient off of Lord of the Rings? Just
oh my god, look at them be so sad here versus this aimbot. They actually like you're just sitting there because you don't have another tank. But they just choose not to heal him?
You just throw your Reaper into the team and he just ults, you know?
Although, you know one thing they could do? They could buff the shit out of cart healing.
So, new characters? Yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see, like, Sojourn or something. Like, where are the new characters?
Yeah. I want to see the new tanks, huh? The buff tanks.
Push is dog shit. Bring back 2CP. Honestly? So here's my question. Would 2CP be better 5v5?
Maybe. I don't think so, because I feel like it's gonna be so hard to push chokes. Like how do you break Hanamura with one tank? Like that sounds so awful.
I mean, you only have to break through one other tank as well.
How would anyone know? This is what's called a thought exercise, Twitch chat. It's where we use our brain to create an exercise, thinking about what could be possible.
I'm creating a hypothetical scenario where everyone's spamming Hanamura first choke and all you have is like these like 5 tanks that you're supposed to pick. I feel like it's like 10 times harder.
I'm like the average Overwatch player, you know.
Even like getting stuck on King's Row, like right after you have first.
The issue with 2CP was spawn times being able to draw. Yes, but tanks were some of the best characters at stalling because you had like 2 tanks. If you only have 1 tank.
Yeah, but you can't cap as fast. You have less people that can.
Well, obviously they would scale the cap time. It wouldn't remain the same.
What do you mean? Maybe they would scale the cap time in the other way to make up for the lack of tanks. You're assuming.
Games, you know.
Maybe you cap slower now.
You'd be really bad, no? Because if you just lost 1 person on the offense, you just have to reset.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It
like,
feels so bad.
That's what I mean. I feel like pushing becomes 10 times harder on like every.
Yeah, I mean probably.
To make it just being because I'm thinking about like Voskaya and stuff.
Yeah.
If you pushed second and you're against like a Widowmaker or an Ashe or somebody and they just get a pick off because there's no fucking shields, like what the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You have to
I actually think offense is like giga nerfed.
No more 2CP, no Overwatch 2. I mean, we know there's no more 2CP. I'm just bringing up the question, like, since they're, like, theoretically, since we didn't know that's 5v5, like, would it have made a difference to keep 2CP, right? But, like, probably you're right in that it would still suck ass because people, if you lose a pick, you just have 4 players and, like, no tanks to make the space. So
4 players versus spawn advantage.
I wonder if they experimented with no roll lock.
That's what I want to know too, because I want to see 113. 113 actually sounds fun.
No.
No.
I don't think any I mean, like 5v5 is like the most, to me, is the most reasonable.
I didn't change the number. I just said I just want 1 support instead of 2.
But I think it's about having 1 support with like 3. So you'd want 3 DPS and then 1 tank.
You run like Tracer, go get your own health pack.
But then that just promotes like you essentially don't play any like DPS that needs to be healed.
Yeah, but there's a trade-off. There's like a trade-off, right? Because like, I mean, yeah.
Why would you just like? Wouldn't you just only play Lucio Mercy there in that situation? Lucio or Mercy.
Lucio, you would just run.
Yeah, exactly.
What if we removed all healing abilities?
But there'd be a difference there, right?
Turned.
I'm listening, Albert.
And turned tanks into just and reclassified everyone as DPS and just had a 5v5.
What if it became like a wave, like one of those like one of those Warcraft 3 like mods where like you spawned waves of monsters to send them at the base, but you were selecting which heroes you could buy each round. So it was round based, but you could buy different heroes.
Monday Night Combat, dude. You like
Monday Night Combat? Just bring it back.
Both teams just have an army of NPCs that we can upgrade based off how many kills we get, and then we fight our NPC armies.
And then you can buy 2 tanks. Exactly. Then you can buy 2 tanks.
Dude, Monday Night Combat was an elite game.
Yeah, for like,
oh my god, that game
year
was
it
good.
existed.
Right up there with Shoot Mania.
No, that's not fair. That's not fair. No, Monday Night Combat was way better than Shoot Mania.
I actually really enjoyed playing Monday Night Combat. They just had
what an unbelievable game. I played it on Xbox originally.
Yes, the Xbox Arcade.
Yeah, you just buy goats. I want to buy goats.
Yeah, you have a goats wave. It's like, guys, they've bought goats. They roll out of spawn. They bought goats, guys. They roll out of spawn.
It just becomes a top-down MOBA.
That is crazy.
It's so much easier to cast.
Honestly, the spectators like third person so much, they should just make Overwatch Smite.
What was that other game? Paragon?
Let's go back to TF2, lad. Well, the thing is that this 5v5 format is like, especially with this push style game mode, which is close-ish to the 5CP, it actually is more TF2 than Overwatch in a way, and how it feels.
When are they adding Demo Man to Overwatch? That's the real question.
I want Spy, someone that can back.
I want Spy, yeah, dude. Imagine Spy in Overwatch who's back.
Yeah, I want someone that can instantly kill somebody with a backstab.
Delete it.
Summer just has a fucking execute.
Yeah, execute on a tank.
Solo tank.
Just walks in behind the line.
Put a knife on the bottom of her clip in her Mac 10. There you go. She melee hits people with her fucking guns, and just put a knife on the bottom of it, and then you got your.
Yeah, actually, I think that's a fair take from Crimzo, is that you just have multiple tank players still on a roster because you're going to need players to cover multiple roles. I think it's a fair take.
Yeah, but their enjoyment of the game will go down.
It'll be less, and also it's still assuming that the tanks are going to be equally valid, right? Like, it's still assuming as if the tank roster is going to be equally valid. If the tank roster is equally valid, I could see that being a true fact.
Characters
so
countered by Sombra and characters.
Like, but if the tank balance is shitty, like I don't believe they're gonna need that many tank players still.
If it's shitty, I'll just put in myself, you know, and do the same thing, save some money, you know. Like Jane said, it's for us to save money, so I'll put it myself.
I think that the majority of teams are still going to be running multiple tank players. So.
I think you have to. I mean, I don't think any.
I mean, and by multiple, I mean like 3.
I don't know about 3. I feel like this year.
We'll know whether or not Overwatch 2 is coming out soon.
There's also 8 in the game. They'll probably add 1 or 2. Yeah. They'll probably add some tanks maybe, but it's still once again assumed that those tanks are going to be good.
Either
and like you can't just have your current tank player figured out.
Wider, like they expand their hero pools, or they get more specialized, and then you just have like there's just no one tank that can cover all those heroes, so you have to get like 3 specialists, right?
I don't think you thought about this, Albert. Actually, what about Among?
Yeah. What about that?
What
huh?
about?
What about him?
Simply just play one hero.
Yep. What about him?
Yeah, the Chengdu Hunters just only.
What about
him? Yeah, just pray you just backcap every time.
Oh yeah, dude. What a
yep.
god. Yeah, backcapping's a lot harder. It's a lot easier to notice when someone's
there and there's synergies between some of these tanks. But if you're an off-tank player, if you're a Diva player,
actually, I guess flankers probably become less desirable too in a way, right? Because
Man, feels bad, man. Super Choi duo feels bad, man. No domination. Feels bad, man. My face when no domination.
As Zarya or Diva, you'll come away really enjoying it.
Yeah, I think even if everything works out where like we don't lose a ton of off-tank players, it's still gonna feel like we've lost a piece of like Overwatch culture of like the tank duo. You know, like the tank duo is gone, and like even if we don't lose a bunch of players because of it, it's feels like we've lost a piece of our history with it.
Me, I'm the duo.
I was the tank.
Me.
I'm just solo now.
I mean, we make fundamental changes. You're going to lose a part of the old game. Oh, thanks, obvious Owen. Really good. Obviously, that's you're right. You've won it. You did it. That is correct.
Overwatch 1. They had. I mean. Tinfoil, but this is how you make it Overwatch 2 and not Overwatch 1.5.
I was her shield and she was my matrix.
Like,
yeah. Good chat message, Robin Hood.
Avast over here talking about Diva Mech stomping baby.
Well, wouldn't that be cool though? Wouldn't that be cool though? That'd be like an environmental. You know?
Yeah, I love this. It's my favorite mode.
Honestly, they should have called this Overwatch 5.
That would have been smart, actually. But Overwatch 5 is a single-player game, so
it's RPG.
With every
iteration, it just gets one more person gets deleted from PvP.
One person gets deleted. Next is going to be the flex support. Flex support gone. Next, DPS projectile gone.
Wait, that's true.
And we just slowly whittle down.
All you have to do is play. You just play Echo in every game, so that you can make another main.
Is Overwatch 2 still going to be linked? Yeah, I mean, I think that's the plan, right? I do wonder how that's going to work, right? How is Overwatch 2 and Overwatch going to be linked? Are they just going to like make Overwatch be 5v5 at the base game?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. They kind of just have to do it.
I mean, that's what you would think, right? But I just don't know.
So what happens in Overwatch 1? They just delete.
No,
they delete the 6.
It's
5v5 for Overwatch 1 as well.
Yeah.
Overwatch 1 is getting the same engine and everything.
Yeah, I thought it was getting baked in.
It's literally.
It's priced in? They priced it in already?
No, it's priced in, but I'm just wondering how exactly they're going to integrate it, right? Like, I don't know. Are we just going to like update it one day and we're going to wait? You're going to launch the game and you can't. It's 5v5, you know?
Yeah. It just gets reskinned and you just load up. Yeah.
They'll probably take
and then you go through the PvE tutorial where you kill the Junkenstein bots.
They'll take it down for 24 hours before Overwatch 2 comes out. You'll patch, and then the servers will open, and then you can play with anyone who's playing Overwatch 2. And if you want to play Overwatch 2 and buy it, then you get that, and you get the PvE content. And if you don't want to do that, then just play Overwatch 1 and still play with everybody.
Yeah. Well,
actually,
actually, when Overwatch, well, that's the thing. When Overwatch 2 gets updated, that's when they're announcing that we're only having one caster now too. So
yeah, I saw that joke made.
I know you saw that joke, but I'm gonna repeat the joke because it's really funny to me. It's still really funny to me.
Less action, one caster. And so actually, it's just going to be Mitch. Mitch is going to be the only
Yeah, it'll be Mitch. No, there's no more casters. It's just Uber.
It's just Mitch.
Uber does everything.
Guys, since the game is so easy to understand, we've simply progressed past the need for any casters at all.
Yeah, everyone just watches it.
Yeah, we just watch.
Actually, they're going to select one random moderator a week to then go and cast in the Blizzard studio. That's what's going to happen. One chatter. One Twitch.
If IBM Watson could cast by himself, that'd be a little lit.
Watson cast.
This reminds me of Destiny 2 launch. Flame, tell me if this is correct. Someone says it reminds me of Destiny 2 launch. They made it double primary and they spent 2 years fixing the game back to the old style. Do you and this was and is it?
True.
Do you feel like this is a similar
Destiny
situation?
2 is actually closer to Destiny 1 now than it is to Destiny 2. So it'd be really funny if Overwatch 2 comes out and then they just slowly go back until we wind up at 66 with no hero limits.
Definitely. And I can vouch a great example of it.
Yo, where's my any new heroes? Any single new heroes yet?
Nah, they can't show them in PvP.
Is it just, are we just looking at like all the maps that should have been released in Overwatch 1 over the past like 4 years?
Yeah. Between the two teams as they're trying to push up the hill.
He's getting it.
Yeah, where's Sojourn? I thought they'd at least show her. Because they've already kind of revealed her kit, or at least a part of it.
Both of these teams, come out.
Maybe she's like wildly overpowered.
I mean, every hero is
take a stab in the dark.
I'll
take a stab in the dark and say that we're not seeing her because the cinematic isn't ready.
Well,
probably what it is.
Well,
that's so dumb. Someone said next year is the red crewmate.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it's red crewmate. I hope we get Vince. What if they have an Among Us map and you can vent?
Oh, that would be so
think about
good.
that.
Sombra could just vent into the back line.
Do you think they're adding prop hunt? Because I really want them to add prop hunt.
I don't think they're gonna add prop hunt. I mean, didn't they sort of like add that as like a custom game mode where you sort of had prop hunt? Yeah, doesn't it sort of exist in customs already? Yeah.
Yeah. And Among Us exists in Overwatch as well.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird, but it's okay.
Someone made Smash Brothers in Overwatch, didn't they?
I saw that. It's basically just Doomfist. It's kind of shitty.
Do you think changes like 5v5 are the reason Jeff left the team? This change has been in the works for a long time, way before Jeff left for this point. So I don't.
They got Monte Carlo?
You think? I'm not.
I think so. I think so because they talked about this way before Jeff left. They talked about the possibility of a 5v5, and on top of that, like these sort of changes don't happen like in the span of like a couple like weeks, you know? Like this is like
talking about? Jeff left yesterday. One player with him.
Like this is not something they just like came up with.
They just. I mean, people sussed it out, right? Like that's where the rumors came from.
Sus?
Like, oh, we haven't seen a second tank in any of the the videos, and so
yeah,
people were just
like when they did when they showed like the Overwatch 2 footage with Jeff, there was like one tank, you know?
Yeah.
So this is definitely something that was there before
Ground
that.
Fair, my favorite gameplay to watch.
On the sides of it so that you can move around.
This is Overwatch 2 Farah. She just exists on the ground.
When's Soundquake coming out? That character never existed.
When's like any hero at all. Imagine they release with only one new hero because they spent all their time rebalancing the game for 5v5. I mean, honestly, it's very possible. I don't know. I feel like rebalancing for 5v5 is an insane endeavor because tanks in FPS game are hard to balance, and now you've just changed the entire paradigm you spent 5 years working on.
Yeah, I was gonna say like we're finally at a place where it feels good for Overwatch 1 and 6v6, and then yeah, now you gotta go back to the drawing board.
Going backwards.
For a team to push through. Oh, this is the hilly section.
Yeah, so I was gonna say
the balance has been good recently as well. Like,
what is this, Joshin?
With the multiple comps being able to be played.
You have missed Pog Day.
I think part of it is also on the teams. Like I think
you
teams
likely
in
are
Overwatch League are
the
more
sus
willing
Chungus
to play to their
imposter.
strengths instead of just
I
being
bet
slaves.
you don't
in
even
the
like
past, there's
Brexit.
definitely like an urge not like just to follow whatever's strongest.
Yeah, I mean the game. I don't know. The worst case scenario is this game launches and ranked somehow feels worse than it does on live.
Yeah.
That's
how would that?
That is my job.
I don't know. I feel like I find it hard to feel worse. Unless they like just completely like
you have a one-trick ball player on your team now.
Okay, never mind. I see how it can be worse. Your SR just gets transferred. Like the existing rank system, nothing changed. It just
oh my god, that would be the
and
worst.
they just transfer.
You pay $40 for the character import. Oh, there.
Just a one-to-one transfer of your.
What if
like,
you have save slots?
rank.
What if they have save slots and you can buy them like that one Konami game?
You're just like, oh, I want my SR to be what I was season 3. Like
This is Monaco,
that's
yes.
Where I want my SR to
This
be
is
for
Monaco.
Overwatch
You
2.
should go back in time and choose the season in which you want your SR to be based off.
Yeah.
I can be masters again.
Wow, that is crazy.
Take my top 20 season 1 or whatever.
True.
It's a bad idea to rely on the current meta because the systematic issue of the game will just pop up against the add heroes.
Whoa.
I mean, we'll just have to see exactly what they're. I mean, they haven't really shifted the paradigm here at all, right? But they need the balancing. So I mean, like a lot of the existing.
They'll be in the arcade.
Every single custom game is just 66.
I don't know how one tank is even gonna fix. It just adds some of the problems that already existed.
That's why I think it won't exist. That's exactly why I don't think it will exist.
GM Plus, Overwatch 1, 6v6, Overwatch 2.
What if Overwatch League just plays on a custom server, huh? What if they're just
It's a
like,
pro
all right.
mod. It's just pro mod, man.
Overwatch pro mod.
Yeah.
So it's like an in-house league ran by all the off-tank players.
Is it just skill level, or does it look far more skirmish now? The skill level's pretty low here. These are like plat players.
It's like the Chinese server in League of Legends, where if you reach a certain rank, you get invited to the super server, and then you can.
This is Monaco game.
Yeah. Finally, the Overwatch Super Server, 6v6 only.
Yeah, you hit GM. And
Dude,
then you
look
can go
at
to the
this
super
fucking
server.
high ground fight, man. God damn. Luckily, there's multiple angles to take this, but this is like, what a fucking journey it is to get up this high ground.
Yeah, I like the staircase. Really cool map.
Yeah, the map is. I mean, I think every map that we've seen, like, there's none of them, like, all of them look interesting, and they definitely seem to have gone with a design philosophy of having more open areas versus choke points, which is like, but also I'm like, why did we have to wait 5 years for that? You know? Why couldn't we have just done that like now to like have some more open maps?
Just open up some of these 2CP maps, huh? Just a little bit.
Just be happy with what you have rather than what could have been.
We don't have this yet, though.
Yeah, we don't have it.
Oh shit!
More the way it is.
I mean, in theory.
We don't even have Paris. Where's Paris? Has anyone seen Paris?
Be happy with what you have in theory, guys. Right?
Paris and Overwatch 2 has 2 chokes. That's the big update.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Got 2 chokes.
Wait, don't tell me they just removed the brick wall that was there in Overwatch 1, huh? Like everyone was telling them to.
The thing that makes me curious is how much editing is going to be to the already existing maps.
Well, they said Super asked that question, and they essentially said like, we don't know.
Well, they definitely revamped King's Row, right? I'm pretty sure I remember them saying that. I don't.
Well, yeah.
Does Junkrat go fuck himself then? Yes, I think he does. I don't see how Junkrat's viable I don't see how Junkrat's viable even outside of this map, like outside of the map issue. Like, there's one tank. There's less people for him to farm. You know, I just don't see how Junkrat's good.
Like had like one spot.
No, it was for PvP. Flame, this entire stream has been about PvP, so anything they said... Oh, maybe.
Your Destiny-ass brain is just thinking about PvE again.
God, these high grounds are so fucking... How are they losing? They could just put people on the high ground and just win. Like, they just have to go fight the high ground.
This is just low SR gameplay, dude. It's just...
Connor, these people aren't good.
I know, but this makes me madder because of the fact that, like, everyone's gonna walk away from this and be like, guys, it's so cool. There's so much diversity.
Ash was owning.
But like, I'm just looking at this and I see hell. I see Omaha Beach. I see Omaha Beach, man. That's what I'm seeing here.
Why are they driving a race car into this building? That's what I want to know.
Oh my gosh, hit a shot. Mercy.
Oh, wait, she hit a headshot.
Oh, okay. Well, luckily I have the res.
Yeah, that's why they stick to the low ground around here.
It'd be great if you could just jump into the pool. Bullets come like slowly whizzing by you.
Oh shit, there's a pool.
Yeah, it's not even a pool though, because there's not even water. I think it's like an LED like fake pool.
An LED fake pool.
Yeah, that's what rich people get, so I don't have to spend money on water.
Yeah. How do you think they got rich?
Wow. Idiot. It's just like it's like a 1-inch deep puddle, and they just put lights under it to refract.
Yeah, exactly. It's so much.
There's no urgency. Albert, are you gonna have to redefine the mayhem to be far more urgent with the 5v5 changes?
I mean, it'll be very. I'll just, just like, hey, when are you guys losing your job, and then
Okay, yeah.
What are you guys losing your job?
Albert says, "Step into my office." Step into my office.
You put an post in Discord.
I just like close the door and be like, guys, whoever leaves
right now.
Yeah, whoever leaves this office gets the contract. All right. See you guys in I'll see you guys in a few hours.
In and out.
Fucking Albert pulls in all of his tank players, and it's like the recruitment scene from The Dark Knight. He snaps a pool cue in half and puts it on the floor, and he's like only one of you gets the contract.
I'm gonna make one of you disappear.
There's been 30 different variations of this route.
How this? Okay, so they were doing pretty well about the open design choices. Is this another single choke point?
It is, yeah.
Is that a single choke point there at the end?
They want to make it like Havana.
Oh no.
I think things that people are interested in.
You have to fight into a castle, and that's impossible to fucking finish.
You guys most looking forward to that you guys have played around, implemented with thus far.
Wow, I mean it's a great.
I don't mind that forces a comp change. I mean, in a way, I sort of agree, but also it's not. I also don't agree with that because I like maps allowing for different design, but I like allowing different comps. But I hate when maps force you to play a different comp. Essentially.
Wait, that card just gets pushed out of the way with the when the payload hits there. That's kind of cool.
In the game, so as well as like the.
Are you doing dev power rankings post stream? How would I do a dev power ranking exactly? BP. I don't even know how I would go about doing that. Like the energy associated with them because they're not playing.
I think he's talking about the players.
Are these players devs?
I don't know.
I'd be shocked if they weren't.
I assume. I mean, devs do play testing. I assume they are devs.
It's a minor thing, but the new Mercy beams actually look really good.
Yeah, I mean, I just like that Ryan's portrait makes him look like the Chad. Like it's just Chad Ryan.
That's true, yeah.
So.
Chuck E. Cheese so long.
Oh wait, that payload moves off the track. It goes off the rails.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Off-rail drifting.
They added lateral movement to the carts.
They buffed the carts.
Do you know what it cost, Albert? Do you know what it cost?
Everything.
Off-tank jobs.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, not everything.
I mean, that's,
They had to cut their off-tank designers.
Dude, at least tank. Also, I'm watching this mage change right now live with Frosty Feet, and I have to say, I much prefer it. Like the fact that your tanks can like cycle contest a cart and not get insta frozen now is actually glorious.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
Sure, they move slow as shit.
Lore.
But they do move slow as shit though.
I want to see the damage boosted fire strikes, huh? Let's see a double damage boosted fire strike and see what the damage looks like.
Tanks. I mean tank, singular tank. But there are 2 tanks on the field. Half of the old tank roster, but yes, 1 tank.
We talked a lot about that earlier.
You can still cycle and contest with 1. You know. You can still sorta. It's just D.Va. She has a lot of fly. You loop.
D.Va instantly fucking.
You just can't cycle contest with 2 tanks. You have to cycle contest with a tank and a.
With 1 tank.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, how was the baby
I almost feel like you have to give heroes like D.Va like bonus damage to shields or something to compensate for the fact that they.
You literally have to turn every tank into a god.
Yeah, I mean tanks just have to be really strong. They have to have like insane mobility or like a crazy durability, you know? Because you can't make them be like DPSs because that would be stupid and it still won't fit. Like you can only go 2 ways with tanks: durability or mobility.
D.Va more damage, like giving you more damage.
Yeah, like I don't even think that's like a good. I think it's like all right, but it's not really a solution to tanks.
Just add the heavy from TF2 into the fucking game.
I almost wonder if you need something along the lines of like tanks having like damage reduction to damage from other tanks, so a hero like D.Va can actually be next to Orion and not just immediately fucking die.
God, this is such a fucking slog. You have to look.
Hill, dude. You're like climbing up this shitty ass hill.
This hill is fucking crazy, man.
Where do you throw that mail?
This reminds me of the scene in Fast and Furious 2.
Hybrid mode. Because I think like
except it's really fucking slow.
May freeze being gone. Does that also include Blizzard? Does Blizzard not freeze?
Blizzard freeze.
No,
Blizzard.
Look at the torb. He didn't get frozen.
No, I'm pretty sure your blizzard still freezes.
Your ultimate freezes, I think.
Wait, really? Yeah, that took ages for him to get froze. What the fuck?
I mean, it was pretty good.
Well, yeah, I mean, good. Yeah, I fucking hate May, but
look, fuck May.
Why are all the maps so vertical? I mean, verticality isn't necessarily bad. It's just the fact that like it's weird to me now that we've added verticality.
This is actually some like Normandy shit.
Also, yeah, he might have been.
They got the pillbox up top.
See, but like the thing is, you have to see. So this is like another instance of like, holy shit! Like, so you're having to approach this point. You're like, oh shit, we're getting dominated. Let's go, Ryan. Okay, so you make it around the corner. Now Ryan is fucking worthless still because he can't do anything. Like, I mean, like ideally you just set up. That's why I feel like for these maps are gonna be so vertical. You simply have to play dive or long range hit scan all the time. I just don't see any other comps ever being good. You know?
That's the problem with like the design of the characters in this game too. To an extent, is like some characters just literally can't get to high ground.
Oh, Torb! Wait, 2 hammer kills?
They just need to make. They need to make these tanks mobile.
Did anybody else notice the Diva Matrix? Like
What about
she gets a more Matrix now. Has that been said already?
I mean, that's not surprising.
She was holding right click and it was going down like not as fast as it does in live. Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely a map that I feel like they did not think about the because they're like, oh well, they have you stairs here. You can go the long way around through the stairs on the right,
okay.
But then you
Overwatch League can just delete the map like Paris.
Yeah, just get rid of it.
And Horizon, just literally, we do not play those types of maps in this league.
Do you think less tanks would make the team fights quicker? Are you saying we have no tanks? We have 4v4 DPS support?
4v4!
They consider turning Reinhardt to a DPS.
This is why we need Vince, yeah. This is why we need Vince.
We need a voting system. We need a voting system too.
Oh yeah, we do need vents. Vents would be sick. We can make like a Shelby Woo character where you crawl into the gutter and come out in another one. Or no, what was it called? What was the Nickelodeon show where the girls?
There's a lot of coom here.
It was Alex Mack.
There's a lot of coom here.
Just had teleporters.
No, Shelby Woo was the
coom is
See, teleport. See, like mobility ideas are actually cool because that would actually make Reinhardt viable. Like legitimately, if you had mobility mechanics in the map, Reinhardt could actually be useful. But like,
this tracer gameplay, my eyes.
But I don't see like.
It's more of a blink tracer, not really a gun tracer.
Yo, where is this Mercy going? Yo, where's this Mercy going? How is this Mercy alive? How did it? Oh my! Oh no!
That post.
When the devs are sus.
Ryan is way more mobile. He has charge cancel. I'm gonna be honest with you. You have the spirit, but like charge is not good for mobility. Like
power steering, he can steer around the corner. He do a U-turn.
Yeah, he did. He can do U-turns. That is pretty sick.
That is wicked, as they say.
Pretty wicked.
It's really grown a lot. All right, getting a little bit Massachusetts in here.
It's that the work from home is
like
wicked smart.
And when we first started,
give Ryan like a form. Give Ryan like a toggle shift between two different forms. He's like super mobile and does a fuckload of damage, or one where he's really slow. And
if you reduce the damage he takes while charging, yeah, that would make him more viable.
Hammer in like a
or if he's faster,
horizontally, like a boomerang. Like just like a little boomerang.
Like the Brothers in Mario Bros. It like has an arc to it, and he just like the Hammer Bros. And he like has a little bob up and down. And he like can only throw it when he's in the air.
Okay, or do it instead of his ultimate. Wait, the Doom ult's kind of cool.
And then Diva's mech.
Yeah, the Doom ult's got a nice like look. It's got a nice look.
Like imagine you can choose between Earth Shatter or just throwing your massive hammer like just.
Dude, I mean, I feel like if Reinhardt was able, if they gave Ryan a jetpack, he would be good.
And the team is contained.
He should turn into Winston and just turn him into a Winston with a hammer.
Then it would be good.
No, you just let him charge vertically, dude.
Just reskin.
Charging vertically would also be fine.
He could use his power steering to do some sick.
Oh, they got the pulse
in the air, and then like you go for the winning backflip shatter, and you get Tony Hawk combo points, and it determines how long everyone's.
Do you think it's like worth me even staying up at this point? Should I just go to bed? Like, is there going to be anything?
Oh, big fatty Shaddy.
Okay, that was a brawling.
Fatty Shaddy.
We might get some large tweets after this.
Some large.
We've already gotten some large tweets.
Yeah, we might get some bigger ones. People are still letting it simmer.
People are still in shock. They're still watching.
Yeah, they're not ready.
Their eyes, their mouth agape.
The first couple stages of denial. The truly exquisite memes haven't been released.
They haven't been
yet.
crafted yet. Yeah. We're only in the proto phase of memes. See, like, so they did make Havana. Look at this point.
Oh, this is a kill zone. What
Excuse
is
me? Is there a flank? Is that?
You're gonna cap the point.
This is ungodly. Whoever designed this.
What the fuck, man?
Wait,
what the fuck is this?
It looks like the end of Badlands, except there's no high ground.
No way. This is the. How do you cap this? How?
You gotta take the high ground.
Whoa, it's the ball. There's a ball.
The high ground. The high ground's in their spawn.
You gotta take it.
Yo, throw the nade! Oh my god.
Why is the car going inside?
How do they cap this? How?
No, I mean they're gonna cap because they're winning the fight, but.
Well, I love that you're
There is an
reacting
idea in game design that like, does every endpoint have to be cappable? Like, should every
What?
end area? Well, no, I'm serious. Like,
again?
It depends on your win condition, and I mean honestly, Overwatch hated time, right? Like, it should be cappable if the win condition is time. It shouldn't be cappable if the win condition is failure. But the problem is failure in pubs feels like shit. Like, getting full health just feels awful.
Well, I was just saying is that like the general idea is like, oh, the expectation is the offense should cap it, but like, should that always be the expectation, right? It should be more of a what's the
I think
from a pub perspective, it has to be.
cappable.
No, I think from a pub perspective, you want the team to finish the map.
For the record, I agree. I generally favor stacking things in favor of the offense. I'm just saying is that there is like a perfectly valid game design idea that you don't necessarily design a final point to always be cappable.
Tater, thank you for the tier 1 and the 24 months.
I've never designed a map before, so I can't speak to that.
I think we brought that up before, right? Didn't they say something?
But I mean, the thing is, we've talked about how like, yeah, like, but it's not about capability, right? It's not even about. It's about like having like, you can have a point that is strong defensively, but without like ridiculous defensive advantage, you know.
We come into work every
well,
day.
Defensive advantage is usually
like passionate and excited
spawn time.
Well, like not just, but like also like you can have high ground differentials and stuff, but like it's the one choke thing that gets me. Like having one choke is dumb because it's just not fun.
I assume
you know, it's like not good. Like to me, I feel like you shouldn't have points with one choke.
Did you see Kaiser's tweet? Holy shit. Hold on.
Oh yeah, his with the Joker.
Yeah.
I pretty much echo what Aaron said. Of course, thanks to the community. I mean, a lot of this kind of changes, especially.
No, but I think CP. I think they already don't care about capability. Like I think they're already in line with what you're asking. Because I remember.
Well, I'm not saying I'm in favor of it. I'm just saying,
but I'm
like,
saying
that
like what you brought up, because I remember they brought up something like 50%, like it was something like offense wins 60% of the time or something on Hunter. It was some weird stat like a long time ago.
Oh, were there doors? Okay, good. I couldn't tell if there were doors or not. I was looking at it and it was tough for me to tell if those were doors or if those were just cubbies because I didn't see anyone enter. If there were doors, then I'm more okay with it. Like, just to me, one choke is bad. Doors, multiple doors, but you have a high ground difference, that's fine.
Well, I mean, it just comes down to the idea of, like, what victory conditions you want to encourage, right? Because this is, I'm thinking back to, like, old talks with devs from way back when, right? But, you know, there is an idea of, well, shouldn't it feel good for the defense to win, like, more often? Like, was a legitimate, like, take.
That's what they wanted. That's what they wanted. That's why we don't have stopwatch. Like, what you're saying is why we don't have stopwatch.
Yeah.
Because they don't want games to go to overtime.
Quite a crew. We love playing the game every day.
Like, they don't. I don't think that the devs particularly enjoy the concept of overtime Kings Row. I think in their eyes, they want defense to win.
Just got here. What happened? Oh, you know, a lot.
Oh, no.
A lot.
No.
Also, there's another way up the slope. Oh yeah, I know. I'm malding the slope, but I mean, the slope at least has multiple approaches still, right? Like, it's hard. Like when I'm malding, it's not about like that point is still like it's not bad. It's just bad for Rhine. Like to me, most of my like malding is because of the fact that these points they have multiple angles, but they're just terrible for Reinhardt. Anything that's not dive, they're just terrible.
Yeah, but that already exists, right?
If it's not you guys, you just got signed up.
Like it's terrible for Orisa too. It's terrible for like somewhat Sigma even like and Zarya. Like it's literally just like Winston D.Va ball central.
Oh wait, there's the AMA on Reddit. Can we do a live stream?
A live stream of the AMA on Reddit?
Yeah.
Kicking off again tomorrow. We'll be discussing discussing a lot of the things that we're talking about today here at 11:30 p.m.
Also, I forgot that there was an Overwatch League this weekend because I was like, oh man, because I have to drive to Austin on Sunday, and so I guess I'm gonna be leaving late so I can do the co-stream.
That for you.
Oh, because you're doing the Iceland co-stream or whatever.
We are. This Kaiser tweet is funny. It's the still from Joker. Goodbye, Optic players. You're the only one who were kind to me. This one is pretty funny, actually. Yeah. I do like that one, actually.
What time is Iceland happening for you, though?
10 a.m. Monday is when it starts, I believe.
Right. Okay, yeah, and then 8 a.m. for the West Coast.
This entire interview kind of screams to me just a lack of care about the product of the game. I mean, I feel like that's a little harsh. I just think we have very different visions.
They told me they're sending.
But they did dodge a lot of questions.
I bought a case in advance, but I'm hoping that they send a lot.
But I don't necessarily agree with their vision. Also, we just didn't see new heroes, so you know.
I mean, hang on, you're in Korea though, Seth. So why not go with an age-old classic that OW fans like? Hot 6.
Hot 6.
Yeah.
Hot 6. I never got that.
Well,
I'll be honest.
Why drink Red Bull when you can go for Hot 6?
It's a lot more.
Well, Hot 6 is banned now. It's now Hot 5.
Oh god.
They had to cut one of the players.
Well, didn't get to see any new heroes, guys.
The real plot twist is that like a DPS just takes the tank spot going into next season.
5 head. Violet just plays tank now. Oh, you thought the other tank was gonna take your spot?
No,
it's Violet.
What if I told you you're both cut?
Boy.
Imagine if, the Shock just buy every tank player. Every good tank
just
player.
buy them all.
I mean, fuck it, why not?
God, they ripped off the Band-Aid. Yeah, I mean, it needed to be done at some point.
Just
if they were gonna,
I guess.
Just if that's what they were gonna do.
They don't have a release date, right? Like, there's no guarantee this even goes into effect by next season.
Yeah, we don't know when that's gonna happen, honestly. Do we? Tippy Bite, thank you for the tier 1.
Off-tank players looking for their 2-year deals.
Okay, let's turn on our... We can put alert box back on. So, everyone is still approaching this Overwatch 1 balance in mind? Yes, we are. We are, but there's gonna have to be some pretty radical shifts, right? Yeah. Like huge shifts. Like everything is going to have to change.
Yeah.
Because right now there's the only one way to view it is through the lens of 1. And right now everything they've shown doesn't look like they've changed any of the paradigms from balance of Overwatch 1, right? That's what made the second game. Gabe, you're pissing me off because you're pissing me off, Gabe. I like you, but you're pissing me off. Yeah, making a second game, I could slap a 2 on my shit and call it Dookie 2, and it's still the same Dookie as Dookie 1, right? Like, the point being, it doesn't radically change it because we have a 2 behind it. The current game looks exactly like Overwatch 1, just with 1 less tank. It looks exactly the same. It plays exactly the same, just with some slight changes. Nothing has changed currently, minus the tank. Obviously, you know, we'll see.
I would argue the map design is like changed pretty radically. The question is how the older maps will get reworked, but it does seem like there's a pretty big difference in the map design.
Reworked? Did you say? Did you mean?
It's also
people expect like this to look so starkly different from Overwatch 1.
I mean, I think people are like, I wasn't expecting it to, but people are like. Saying like, well, you guys are approaching this if it's Overwatch 1, but like it is Overwatch 1.
I expected today to have some. I'm not saying I needed the vertical.
Also, thank you for the 3 VZ9. And team player, thanks for the 5.
One thing, and I mean, game design wise, I don't know if this was ever realistic, but I do think people probably were maybe looking towards something along the lines of like, you know, having a second ultimate or like some other like.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I
like,
think. Yeah, I was expecting to see the Reinhardt POV and be like, what the fuck are those buttons?
I think they needed to add something rather than. It feels like they just took something away.
But it is early. But it is early, right? It is early. There's a lot of work to be done. So
like I think from a PR perspective, or from like a what the live stream should have done perspective, like damn, it sucks we lost 2 tanks, but man, the new tanks look really fun to play. You know what I mean? And that's not what we got from that.
Yeah.
Like that it just looked like, oh, this just kind of looks like you just executed one of the tanks, and now we're just playing 5v5 for no reason. It's like both
shooting Zarya off the map.
Yeah, it's like imagine both your off tanks DC'd and ranked, and you're just playing 5v5 rank. Like that's literally what it felt like.
I do think one thing that would have been cool, and who knows, maybe this could still happen, but if you had something along the lines of like, okay, we only have 1 tank, but to compensate, every tank is getting a brand new ability that helps with tanking. And now let's take a look at Ryan and his new ability.
That's what I mean. Yeah. They need to.
Yeah, not having a demo does make things
self-heal or like an
without us being able to touch it is rough a bit.
Shitty cooldown.
Did I miss anything at the very end?
No, no, you did not. They didn't give any new heroes.
When they cut to Zarya and it's just Zarya with like an extra bubble, that's not like enough, you know. Like,
yeah. So I mean, I'm
gold game or
I'm open still. I'm trying to stay open. I'm just like, to me, if you're gonna have this Overwatch 2 announcement, like, it feels like this whole announcement was just saying we're 5v5, but no actual substance other than the 5v5, right? Like that's kind of what we saw. Like obviously there were some minor changes, but we didn't see new heroes. Like we didn't see the redesign.
Like is Winston getting a railgun?
Good health _W
thing for tier 1. It's 5v5. But now look at all the cool things Ron can do.
Yeah, there was no butt.
Throw his fucking hammer.
That was the issue. There was no butt. It was just like
dude,
it is now 5v5, and now everyone feels like shit. Everyone just wants 6v6
back. You could like slam the ground with your hammer and launch yourself into the air and fucking like do 360.
Putting new maps, yeah. But I'm not that worried about new maps.
Other than like, because the average player isn't thinking about like the overall macro. Like they're like, oh, I can play with one less friend, or like I can.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh fuck! Imagine if you're the 6th person in the stack right now.
You mean the team? Or
yeah, if you're a quick play like six stack warrior. Yeah.
Yeah, imagine if you're like the 6th person.
Well, they kind of feel like they kind of feel
no
like
new hero
how,
gameplay. Nope. No new hero gameplay.
They kind of feel like how Al players.
We did not see anything.
It's me.
I mean, personally, for me, that's great because fuck Adam, dude. He sucks at the game.
What the fuck?
I think Sombra's gonna be OP. I mean, not necessarily. No, I think Sombra's just gonna be ensure that you can only play certain tanks.
I feel like the messaging was not there. It was just.
No, it wasn't. It was
not.
I don't think Sombra's gonna be broken. With less tanks, Sombra actually gains less power. It's just she forces certain tanks.
Nothing there made me.
That's my opinion.
I can't wait to play.
Wait! I just saw something absolutely devastating. Doesn't Reinforce's value in the talent takedown go way up now?
Well, yeah, but the thing is, the talent takedown is gonna only have half as many members because they're reducing the number of casts. King Julian fan 18, thank you for the prime. I appreciate that.
If we cut the casters in half, then we only have enough to fill what, 1 team?
Maybe.
And then
maybe we're doing 3v3 like how Apex did Apex Arena. Maybe it's actually 5v5. It's just actually the first announcement.
Gulag. It's just a bunch of 1v1.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think overall there are interesting things. It's too early to say. I say for a game that's been in development for like 5 years, but
since Overwatch 1 came out.
You know, like it's too early to really say. I am not necessarily pleased.
No, I mean the question is.
I'm not necessarily pleased right now.
Did this live stream make you excited to play the game? And the answer, not really.
Like, I mean, I would try
at a basic level,
I'll try it.
That's the thing. You're like, I'll see what this is like, but nothing. When you watch it, you weren't like, oh my god, I can't wait for this to come out. Like nobody said that. Like that at a base level is a failure.
Like I'm still excited to see the final product.
Yeah. Like 5v5 sounds.
I'm still excited to see the final product.
Cool, but like nothing here stood out as like, yo, that looks sick. I can't.
Like
wait.
I'll see. Like I feel like that it was just like, okay, I haven't lost all interest. I will see. I will give them the chance to show me. But I am not
exactly.
I'm not literally pre-ordering right now.
Yeah, I'm not writing off Overwatch 2, but I didn't watch that and think to myself like, holy shit, when's this coming out? This looks so good.
Yeah, like I feel like a success would have been like, all right, how can we pre-order right now? Like I will fucking buy the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes me excited to play Overwatch 1. We still got it. Yeah, I mean like. Yeah, I mean,
that's what it was. It was reverse marketing.
What if it's a reverse psychology move where like Overwatch 2 was actually just a ploy to get everyone to buy Overwatch 1 and play it, and then Overwatch 2 releases and you're like, it jokes on you, like it's just Overwatch 1.
No, it's not. They're not gonna. They're gonna do what Among Us did, and they'll just cancel the sequel.
Yeah, just cancel the sequel.
Well, it just becomes the PvE thing because no one plays the PvP, and then everyone just plays Overwatch 1 PvP, and then that'll be interesting. Probably won't happen, but
yeah.
It's like when CS:GO initially came out. Everyone's like, "Fuck these graphics. We don't need graphics. We'll just keep playing 1.6 like we always have." Like nobody cared about.
I just saw the Jane take. I just saw the Jane take. Yeah, I just saw it.
You just saw it?
I just saw it. Yeah, I didn't see that.
Hair for the last 3 hours.
I did see that. Well, that's a very odd to me because Jane is generally pretty in tune with like realizing the Team 4 doesn't really care about the competitive side. So this is really interesting to me that he thought that this was done for.
He's farming engagements.
Maybe like because Jane would almost never attribute a change to the Overwatch League, so I don't know why he would go for that take now.
Did you ratio him yet, ZP? You're getting close.
I'm not there yet. I'm still chasing apparently.
Seems like
he's getting ready to sign a new Facebook gaming deal.
Well,
he's farming the impressions to boost the value.
Well, we had a live stream.
We had a live stream, huh?
Today was a day.
We had a live stream.
A stream took place.
You know what this means?
Announcements were had.
Marbles?
No, doesn't mean marbles. It's I needed to work on finishing Doki Doki Literature Club. So